Good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good morning, depending with the time zone. But karibu sana kwa hii show. Welcome to this awesome conversation and great show we are about to have. Okay, I am Jake, the moderator, and this is Afriq 24. Karibu sana. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Karibu sana. Nimekuwa nikingoja sana kuwa nanyi asubuhi. Leo ni hile siku. I hope you had a good time in the last night show. Jana tulikuwa na show nzuri usiku. I'm sure you were able to catch up in that show as well. This is another good one. Hii ni show ingine nayo tena kali tena fiti, show ambayo inakukujia hii masaa ya asubuhi hapa Kenya. I'm sure maybe kwenyu ni aidha usiku ama mchana ama jioni ama masaa yote ambayo kwenyu ni ni masaa gani. Nijuze hapo kwa comment section. Zaidi ya yote, karibu sana, karibu sana. Ninayo show moja fiti. I have a good show lined up for you just about now, and we are about to discuss quite a lot in as far as our country is concerned. Are we back to the dark days? Tumerudi zile msimu za giza, zile msimu ambazo hakuna yeyote alikuwa anazingatia katiba, hakuna yeyote alikuwa anazingatia the rule of law. All right, are we back to those days that some one person would decide this is how the country will run and no questions would be asked? Are we back in those days where someone will just say, you know what, this must happen whether you like it or not? You had no option. You had no opportunity to go anywhere, because if you go to the courts, there you won't find justice. If you go to your parliamentarian, him as well won't be of help. So zaidi ya yote, we are discussing, are we back to the old dark days? Where I am telling you, are we back to those days where oh man, no one was breathing. No man could tell anyone anything because everybody was under a sort of oppression. Tuko katika hizo hali, nijuze hapo kwa comment section, lakini naona tayari wengi mmejaja, naona ujumbe zinaingia haraka kwa wingi. Asante sana, karibuni. Hii ni Afriq 24, of course huyu ni host wenyu Jax the moderator, na hii ni show ambayo inakukujia asubuhi. Tutaangalia yaliomo magazetini, tutaangalia pia yale ambayo yamejiri katika vyombo vya habari, tutakuletea mengi ambayo yamesemekana huku nje. Nakwambia Kenya round hii kumewaka moto, lakini zaidi ya yote, labda tujaonana hii mwaka. Happy New Year to you, lakini zaidi ya yote, may God give you a fantastic new year. Despite hizi stories zote, tunakutakia mwaka mwema hapa Afriq 24 na tunakutakia kila raheli. Swali langu tu kwako ni je, tumerejea zile siku za giza, zile siku ambazo ilikuwa ni utawala mbaya? Yeah? Are we back in those days that the leadership was almost dictatorial? Are we back to those days? Naona wengi tayari wamejaja. Like hii video hapo kwa comment section, pia changamka, tujuze unaendelea vipi. Just say a word hapo kwa comment section na nitakuwa mwepesi wa kusoma, kama jinsi ambavyo Kezia Karwerwa amesema happy new year to you. Asante sana. Sara, asante. I see you unasema good morning Jex, good morning to you. Gladys Bosbori, I see you. Ushatutumia hapo Bible verse, umetukalia Mark chapter 9 verse 43 na Joel 3:10 to 19. All right, namwona Joseph Apondi yako ndani, anasema hivi ya kwamba unfortunately Ruto is unfortunately Ruto is a know-it-all. Ruto believes that he is the only one who has the solution to the ailing economy, and whatever he does is always right. Remember, he said he was elected because he had the solution to our problems which he must be allowed to actualize. So NEMA, LSK, the court, etc. stand in his way. Cannot, sorry, stand in his way. Asante sana Joseph. Maoni makali sana kaka. Asante sana. Good year, good morning to you. Hi, how are you? And anyone who is joining us, asante sana. Naona wengi wamelike hii video tayari. Wacha nisome wawili watatu. Namwona Suleiman Joseph amelike hii video. Kezia, asante sana kwa kulike hii video. Catherine Akinyi, thank you very much for liking the video. Joseph Opanda, asante sana. Boda Mouche, asante sana kwa kulike hii video. Like hii video kwa Facebook na zaidi ya yote subscribe to Afriq 24 hapo kwa YouTube. Ninayo show moja kali, ninayo show moja murwa. I'm telling you. Ilianza tu kimchezo. Ilianza katika mazishi ya babake Senator wa Nyandarua Bwana Methu. Hapo rais alitoa usemi ambazo siku tatu baadaye bado imegonga vichwa vya habari. 3 days later, what the president said in a funeral function in the county of Nyandarua is still rubbing so many wrongly. And that's what we are about to discuss, because his actions and utterances are depicting something that many have termed dangerous. I'll be playing some clips here to prove what I'm telling you. But where are we back to those days that man, oh man, aungejitomoza huku nje pasipo kuogopa, because somehow unaweza shikwa tu hivyo ujikute umepelekwa mahali palikuwa panaitwa Nyayo House, those days, we had torture chambers, those dark days, where the courts could not defend you, or rather you were prosecuted and executed without the courts. The courts were almost rendered not useful. Yeah, some few people were the law. They were the executioner. They were holding laws in their hands. They are the ones who are determining what happens to you. All right. Are we back there? Are we back there where a leader akisema ni left, and no questions asked, even if you take him to court? Hey, I saw someone kwa hospitali somewhere akipiga manases, and kwa sababu alikuwa na namba ya simu, and I don't know how true that is, she was able to fight with nurses simply because she had a number. You know, zile siku za bwana mkubwa, I'll call the godfather, I'll call someone, this someone, is he above the law? This someone that you will call, will he operate away from the constitution? So are we back there? You know, people want to break the law. People want to make pronouncements without considering the rule of law. This constitution has really helped and change our world as we know it. In any case, anything can't happen without the famous public participation, and if we are not satisfied, we go to the courts. And when we go to the courts, a judge can issue an injunction, a judge can issue a gag order, a judge can issue a stop, a judge can nullify, a judge can declare a matter null and void unconstitutional, a judge can revoke an appointment, a judge can do something based on the rule of law. And that's the country we have come to know because of what Kenyans bequeathed themselves, what Kenyans gave to themselves, the 2010 constitution that we gave to ourselves to govern us, to rule us, and to operate within the confines of that holy doctrine. All right. But some people feel probably this is becoming a nuisance. We can operate without it. What do you think? That's what we are about to discuss. But zaidi ya yote ni juze, unantazama ukiwa wapi? Karibu kwa hii show. Wakaribisha wawili watatu kwa kulike, kwa kusubscribe to Afriq 24, and zaidi ya pia changia na comment section. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Naona wengi mnantazama, asante sana, nashukuru sana wadau. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I am so very grateful. Ninasho moja murwa hii, wadau mtapenda, na nawashukuru sana kwa kutufanya wakuu na kutufanya wakupendeka huku nje. Asante sana kwa kutufanya jinsi tulivyo. Ni nyinyi mumetutazama, ni nyinyi mumesubscribe, ni nyinyi mmelike video zetu, ni posta tumefika mahali tulipo, na mbali tunasonga tukiwa na nyinyi. So fanyeni vipi? Subscribe. All right, subscribe, comment, participate in this show. Are we back in the dark days? Tumerejea siku za giza, siku za giza zimerejea ama vipi? Tell me hapo kwa comment section tell me hapo kwa comment section, lakini zaidi ya yote wacha ni kuanzishie burudani. All right, let me begin the show for you, and I want to begin with what James Orengo said. All right, let's begin there, even as I take you to the newspapers. Now, these are the sentiments of James Orengo.
In relation to the judiciary and defying court orders, in my view, was both reckless and dangerous. The Constitution of Kenya lays out clearly, in clear terms, the system of checks and balances. And it's not upon the president to cherry pick which decisions he's going to defy and which ones he's not going to defy. There's a clear procedure for overturning even decisions which are purportedly obtained through fraud or corrupt practices. Or the other alternative is to use the Judicial Service Commission, in which the president has representatives, and he can cause a judge to be taken through a tribunal for a decision to be made on that question of corruption, whether the decisions a judge is making is against the law. And on top of it, he can make a report to the appropriate officers, including the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, to the Inspector General of Police, if a judge indeed has been bribed. These are all the tools the president could use, but he cannot say that he is going to defy a judicial decision. So long as that judicial decision is not overturned, is part of the law of the land. And I think of all the statements the president has made, this is the most dangerous, is the most reckless, is undermining the Constitution and the sovereign power of the people, because judicial authority is delegated to the executive, to the courts. And the judiciary does not share the judicial authority with the President of the Republic of Kenya.
All right, all right. I'll be playing that and very much more. Karibu nimwite Raila Odinga. Jamaa anaitwa Orengo anasema that statement from the president, I'll be playing you the statement actually, was reckless and very dangerous. In any case, many have termed that this is how dictators begin. They first say the courts are not good, and then eventually they operate, above them. And eventually you cannot take them anywhere. Of course, they operate by saying, a president performing his functions cannot be sued. Well, I'm telling you. So what do you make of what I'm about to discuss? Now, the sentiments that the president echoed, and he equally said we need to have a conversation. But the conversation he started, he began it in a way that rubbed many wrongly. This is how the president said.
Itabidi sasa tuwe na mjadala na watu ambao wanapeleka makesi kotini kuzuia maendeleo katika taifa letu la Kenya. Itabidi tuulizane maswali. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Yes, itabidi tuulizane maswali. Haiwezekani ya kwamba Kenya, maendeleo ambayo tumekuwa tukingojea miaka nyingi, mipango ambayo iko katika katiba ya Kenya, mipango imepitishwa katika bunge la Kenya, mipango ambayo wananchi wa Kenya wamepigia kura katika manifesto ya chama wamechagua, ati watu wachache, wawili watatu, wameenda kotini, wakahongana kotini, mpango hiyo ikasimamishwa. Barabara ikasimamishwa, universal health coverage inasimamishwa, mambo ya housing inasimamishwa. Lazima tuulizane, lazima tuwe na mjadala. We must ask ourselves, ama namna gani? Yes, lazima tuulizane
namna gani. Now kidogo tu niwarudishe nyuma. The president kuna time alisema anapenda wale watu wanampeleka kotini In fact, alisema hapendi wale ambao wanaenda maandamano, wanarusha mawe, wanafanya vituko. Anapenda wale wanaenda kotini. And of course akamwambia Okiya Omtata asiende sana. In any case, ajaribu kupose kiasi and wajaribu kunegotiate. But alisema anapenda wale wanaenda kotini. So this was earlier before this week when he attended the funeral. This is what he had said some days back.
Mimi nataka munisaidie mahali moja, munizungumzie huyu seneta wetu tafadhali, Bwana Omtata. Wewe sasa unataka kunipeleka kotini, na ile kazi mimi nafanya ni kupangia watu hawa ajira. Kwani sasa utaki hawa watu wapateko kazi? Please Okiya, tafadhali. Ama namna gani jameni, watu wa Busia? Nisaidieni jameni, mumuongeleshe huyu jamaa apunguze mambo ya kotini. Yeye amesema ni rafiki yangu, na ni kweli ni rafiki yangu. Ama namna gani? Tunaelewana? Na unajua uzuri ya huyu Okiya, hata akinipeleka kotini si mbaya, kwa sababu yeye hajapanga kuharibu biashara ya mtu, si ndio? At least hajapanga maandamano. Unajua kuna wengine wananitisha ati usipofanya hii tutapeleka maandamano. Sasa hawa wengine ndio wabaya zaidi. Eri huyu Okiya.
So wale walikuwa wabaya that time, walikuwa wale wenye wanaenda maandamano. So wasema maandamano wamepause. Wale ambao sasa wanamkera kiasi ni wasee ambao wanaenda kotini. And of course huko kotini kumekuwa na success. Maybe maandamano haikuwa na success, lakini kotini kumekuwa na success, several successes. One, there are things that have been termed unconstitutional, null and void, and because of that the president feels, hey, kuna wasee huku nje wameamua kunisabotage. Kuna wasee huko nje wameamua kila kitu ni kotini. One moment he said hata watu wanaenda kotini kwa sababu ya food ya watoi, Nairobi County was taken to court because of the feeding program. So people are going to court. And I even have some interesting news. People have gone to court because of the use of hustler, boda boda and mama mboga. The president already has been sued right now as we're talking because of one, not fulfilling promises. Two, because of overuse. Can I use that word? Overuse of mama mboga na boda boda na hustler without fulfilling their promises. So already wameenda kotini. So listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Hawa ni boda boda, hawa ni hustlers, walikuwa wameungana ready to take the president to court, and before they took him.
Tumejipata katika njia panda, kwa sababu tulipochagua serikali ambayo iko mamlakani sasa hivi tulikuwa na matumaini makubwa. Tukasema tunatoa mabwenyenye, tukasema tunatoa wale watu ambao walikuwa wanapora nchi, tukasema mambo mengi. Lakini kufikia sasa hivi mambo yameharibika zaidi kuliko vile tulivyo. Sasa tusipoteze muda, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku maisha lazima yaendelee mbele.
There is a betrayal wave within the country. Kila mtu ameketi akiongelea masuala ya economy. Na hii ni kwa sababu ya kuwa tunaona hata wale watu wa chini ambao walikuwa ni the target wakati wa campaigns wameachwa nje. Watu wanalia huku nje, sio bodaboda, sio mama mboga, hata vijana. Na ndio maana hata tukiangalia ndani ya nchi yetu ya Kenya tunapata kuwa kuna rise ya youth gang, rise ya insecurity. Ni kwa sababu ya kuwa mpaka vijana wameamua watoke huko nje waende waweze kujitafutia. Sasa whatever we are demanding here today is to make sure that whatever is rightful for the citizens goes to the citizens. This is a cry that we have as the citizens of this country, citizens of this nation, Kenya. We want what is meant for the citizens to go to the citizens.
Linda Jamii has sued the Kenya Kwanza administration for using the goodwill of mama mboga and boda boda without permission for political gain. The High Court has been asked to fine Kenya Kwanza a total of 426 billion shillings, which is the worth for the goodwill of Boda Boda and Mama Mboga. Why are we reaching that figure? Boda Boda and Mama Mboga contributes 80%. That whole sector contributes 80% of the GDP. Boda Boda alone contributes 1 billion shillings per year to the economy. If you take annually, that is 365 billion shillings that he contributes in terms of revenue to the Kenyan economy. So
tayari ameshtakiwa na mama mboga, wajamaa wa Ndudhi wamempeleka kotini. I'm telling you, raundi wajamaa wanajua haki yao. Sijaanza na magazeti, lakini tayari naona watu wamejaja kwa studio. Karibuni sana wadau. Pia wewe ambao unatujoin kupitia comment section, asante sana. Welcome to this awesome conversation. Good dear, great to have you. I see Kawera akondani and Elisha na kuona. Asante sana. Asante kwa ujumbe wako, nimeupata hapa kwa studio. Namuona Julia Kanyoro ako ndani, asante sana. Thank you very much. Penya Gaka and many joining us. Before hata niwaletee magazeti, wacha tu nisikie sentiments za our panelists in as far as how far I have come and the things I have played before I even bring in today's newspaper. Bwana Penya Gaka, Bwana Simba Nataya, na Mr. G, good morning to you guys. How are you?
Salama sana, Jex.
All right. Karibu sana kwa show Pen, karibu sana kwa show Simba, na karibu sana kwa show Bwana G. Mr. G, let me begin with you. Are we back to the dark days?
Thank you, Mr. Jex. Greetings for me. Naona pia Simba Nataya and Penny. I greet you guys. I think we are back to the dark days. But there's a video that you have shared. Hii video ambayo umeshare mwisho. I think it was ignorance because these people they believed in Ruto's lies. We told them, and even our president, who is Uhuru Kenyatta, told them na kawaambia kuwa watalia wakichagua huyu mtu. So at this time wakisema wanaenda kotini, kwenda kotini, I think it is just ignorance. Kwa sababu every decision that you make there are consequences. Thank you, Mr.
So hii ni ignorance, wasiende kotini, ni ignorance ya mama mboga boda boda.
Ignorance. That is the need. Sasa wanaenda kufanya nini? Wanaenda kufanya nini? We told them this guy cannot deliver. Tukawaambia mkichagua mtu mtalia. So that is ignorance. Wasiende kotini, watulie wa face consequences.
All right, Simba Natea, maoni yako ni yapi? Je, tumerejea the dark days where hata koti hazingetusaidia, mahakama ilikuwa almost imekuwa rendered useless, na parliament pia ilikuwa tu hivyo. Are we back in those days? Simba Natea, Simba unanisikia? Alright, Simba anakaa amehang, lakini zaidi ya yote wadau, wacha niwaelekeze pia kwa magazeti kuliko kuna nini humo ndani. Magazetini pia leo kuna story kibao, kuna story nyingi ambazo ziko kwa magazeti. Sijui nianze na Taifa Leo. I think I should do that even before I play any other clip. Taifa Leo imeangazia swala hilo, tutasema vipi, imeamua kuzingatia hilo swala la William Ruto kuingilia koti. Sorry, Kiswahili saa zingine inakuwa tatanishi. But that's what we are going to begin with. This is Taifa Leo, Taifa Nation. All right. Now Taifa Leo wanasemaje? Taifa Leo wanasema ya kwamba nitafagia mahakama. Hapa ni Rais William Ruto akimpongeza wakili Ahmed Nasir kwa sababu alikuwa amemwambia hapo awali ya kwamba kuna wafisadi kule kotini. So kwa hii toleo la Taifa Leo, hapa ni Rais William Ruto akimpongeza, akimpa kongole na kumwambia ya kwamba nakubaliana na wewe ya kuwa kuna wafisadi, na pia kuna anamwambia ninakumbuka ulivyonionya kuhusu hujuma kutoka maafisa wa kotini. Nakubaliana kuna maafisa wengi waadilifu na kuwa kuna nang'ang'ana kusoma kwa sababu maandishi nayo pia ni madogo, lakini anasema kuna baadhi yao pia ni fisadi. Of course in English in English, what the president is saying, this is what he's saying in English. I'm sure most of us, just like me, Kiswahili is not truly our first language. But in English, the president seems to agree with what Adnan Nasir had warned him that of course in the courts there are officers who are not good, or rather who are mad with corruption. That in our justice system, there are people who have maneuvered their way. They know how to survive in these corridors. In these corridors, there are people who know how to get their justice. Of course, through ways they have learned how. Probably not that good to clean mahakama, of course, or rather the courts. Of course, you remember, ladies and gentlemen, Tai Nguni aliambia the president, you know what, it's time you clean the swamp. Alisema mahakama ni mahali ambapo pamejaa uchafu na ni wakati ambapo Rais William Ruto anafaa atoe uchafu. Naye William Ruto akasema, mimi nitafagia uchafu, nitatoa uchafu katika mahakama, nitatoa wale ambao ni wafisadi, nitawatoa wale ambao wanahujumu mahakama. All right, but in English, this is what the president is saying, that I agree with Ahmed Nasir. You see, Ahmed Nasir was quick to say that many are the instances that courts have worked against him. Sorry, I'm trying to do something here. That's why I'm pausing. But all right, I think now I'm good now. Just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now we are good. Now, this is what the president is saying in English. Okay. That we respect the judiciary, but the judiciary impunity by corrupt judicial official must be stopped. So he's working very hard to stop impunity by any form and by any means. All right. Now let me ask you, Bwana G, even as I make some changes hapa kwa studio, wewe unaona kama rais anaongea akiwa na, is he speaking from an honest ground when he says the courts are corrupt, and he on corrupt guys, impunity, and people who are out there to sabotage him? What do you think,
Yes,
Mr.
I don't
G?
know if my network is poor. I don't know if my network is poor because sijapata swali yako.
Nakuuliza kama unaona
Nasikia tu
kama rais
ukikata.
ako ya, ndio kwa maana nataka kutengeneza studio kidogo. Nakuuliza kama unaona kama rais anasema haki ama sawa anaposema ya kwamba anataka kuchange ama kubadilisha vitu katika mahakama, kwa sababu ana feel huko ndani kuna watu wafisadi ambao wametumika kukwamisha miradi yake, kukwamisha mipango yake ya kiserikali. Unaona kama anasema visawa?
Hakuna ukweli wowote. Mr. Jakes, this guy has an agenda and he knows what he's doing. First of all, he's trying to intimidate these people. We have to ask ourselves questions. You know, the former government, kuna judges ambao Uhuru alikataa kuwachukua, alikataa kuwapatia kazi because he had reasons why he did not choose them or he did not give them the job. But why did this guy come in the power, hata hajamaliza siku moja, the same judges ambao walikuwa wamekataliwa akawapatia kazi? Sahi he's talking about corruption, and yet yeye ni mtu ambaye hakuketi kwa ofisi akajaribu kujua watu gani ambao anachukua kuweka kwa ofisi, because I believe those people ambao wako kwa ofisi pia wamechangia kwa this. As much as I don't respect these judges, no corrupt, they are corrupt, yeah, nakubaliana na hiyo, they are corrupt, but this guy has an agenda. Agenda yake si mzuri kwa Kenya. He knows what he's doing.
Go ahead, Mr. G. I'm making some auto adjustment here, but go ahead.
No, I was saying that the guy has an agenda. Now his agenda, first of all, is to intimidate these judges, because he has a plan why he's doing this.
Hello?
His plan is not that anafanya mambo ambayo iko right. He's trying to intimidate these people so that akianza ku crack the whip na afanye vitu zake, kuna innocent people ambao wataface ama watapitia hiyo hali. Innocent people wataumia because the guy has an agenda of what he knows what to do.
All right, sorry for that. I had to do some 1-2. Sorry, I have to shift. Ilibidi nibadilishe mitambo kidogo, but sorry, I didn't even hear what you have said. But asante sana Bwana G. Labda tu nikuulize tu kwa haraka kwa hisani ya watazamaji wetu. Hizi vita ambavyo sasa vinaibuka kati ya rais na mahakama, ni yeye kwa sababu kulingana na jinsi wengi wanasema ashaweza kuteka bunge. Je, hii ni mbinu sasa ya kuteka mahakama ili aweze kuwa full control both of parliament and the judiciary, and eventually now because he is already the head of executive, he'll be all round, he'll be the leader in everything. What do you make of that, Mr. G?
I remember telling you, Jax, that this guy is just a dictator in making. He is a dictator, and he's trying to intimidate this group of judges, even though they are not. What I know ni kuwa hawako sawa, they are corrupt. Yeah, but he's trying to intimidate them so that akianza kufanya kazi yake ambayo anajua anataka kufanya, watakuwa na uoga. You see? Yeah, his agenda ni ku-inflate fear into these guys so that wasiweze kumzuia kwa ile kazi ambayo anaenda kufanya, because he knows what he's going to do. Yeah.
All right. Melchizedek, asante sana na kuona, na Simba natea pia na kuona. Wacha nikuulize Melchizedek, wewe unaona kama tumerejea katika zile siku mbaya za utawala in as far as what the president said and what he's requesting from the courts?
Yeah, habari zenu, habari ya asubuhi kila mtu.
Salama sana.
I hope mwaka mpya mumevuka vizuri. Okay. Kwangu mimi nasema tumefika kwa hiyo, hata tumepita hiyo wakati, kwa sababu vile maisha it's very very weird compared to what is happening even before. Before we even do anything or say something, the gentleman in the photo, when we are looking the background or where he started all this, ni mtu ambayo tayari ashapeleka mpaka egg kwa maneno ambayo kuna zingine. When the time was wakati ilifika, wakati sasa anataka kuwa president, yeye mwenyewe ndio alisema ya kwamba yeye kile kitu ambayo court atasema atakubali naye. Na wale ambao walimweka kwa hiyo kiti ni wale ambao sahii anagonga ama wana yeah. So the only thing that the only thing which is happening is that mtu muizi ni muizi, hata afanye aje, saa zingine anajaribu kuzuia wale ambao washajua ya kwamba huyu jamaa akiingia pale ataribu everything. So anajaribu njia yake yote kuleta mambo zingine ili asionekane ya kwamba yeye pia ni culprit, but yeye is the main culprit, kwa sababu from the beginning he was in that position whereby everything is Ruto. Mtu tayari ashashikwa mpaka amepeleka egg. How can you believe it can do something good? Nothing. Kwa sababu mwizi ni mwizi. Hata ibe mkuku ama nini ni mwizi. So we are going back to that generation where people are suffering.
The reason that's why nimeuliza hivyo ni
this issue, we need to look it deeply and see what is taking place there, because there is a play game there, because a big play game, because unaona ya kwamba watu wengine wanasema hivi, watu wengine wanasema hivi, but wako ndani. Corruption is something that everybody is eating in Kenya. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The reason as to why nasema are we back in the old days? Baada tu ya hiyo tisho kidogo la rais, koti jana ilipea ile story ya housing levy kuendelea. And according to what the Daily Nation has for you today, wanasema why the court extended the housing levy order. You remember this is an order, or rather a levy that was declared null and void. Yeah. Now this is what the Daily Nation is reading. It says that President William Ruto has scored a win after the Court of Appeal allowed his government to continue collecting the controversial housing levy abate until January 26, when the judges will decide whether to lift the order or grant a further extension. This means the fee will be deducted from the workers in the month of January. Yeah? So baada ya kutoa hiyo statement, already tunaona ameanza kuscore some points kule kotini. Now, could it be that probably the judges feel threatened, or someone somewhere has had his way in court? That is what we are discussing this morning, and we are looking at, could we be going back to those dark days? Yes, Penyagaka?
Yes, I'm very, very glad that you give me a minute, and I hope Julie is there to listen to what happened.
Many are watching as well.
Okay. So long as Julie is there, they can watch all they want. Lakini, the real issue of the day is how the construction of the housing is going to help the not well-doing Kenyans. And my friend, that is a very, very strong message. And Ruto can put it through what he's doing. It is wonderful. Because most of the countries that really developed on our eyes, some of us, come from Southeast Asia, they use the housing. So whatever, maybe made the deals with some of these companies to pay him the money, or whatever he did, my friend, Jakes, let him do what he has to do to produce the housing for the people back home that cannot afford the housing. You do and you can continue the debate all you want.
Mr. Jakes.
But if we can get the housing to where maybe 5 people, 10 people, 20 people can get it instead of 100, that will be very good. Jakes, asante.
All right.
Asante.
All right.
Yes, I have a question from Kugataka.
Kidogo tu before the question, naona mkono pia ya jamaa anajita Simba. Simba, yes, what is it?
Asante sana Bwana Jakes. Unajua sometimes huwa tunasikiza mambo yote vile yanaongelewa, lakini kwanza kabisa ilikuwa ni swali, are we going back to the old days? Yes, 100%. Because Ruto has representatives all over Kenya like Moi did. The late Francis Police, the Elijah Mangales of today, the Sharif Nasir,
allow him to finish.
Like Mutu kama Sudi, it's a replica of Ezekiel Barangatunyi. Those are the people Moi used. And the life of the late Kamodo, they are represented by Nyoro. In Kisii, Machogu and Osoro are representing the former regimes, how they were operating. Now, tukija tuongee mambo ya housing. Hakuna mtu anataka kuishi nyumba ya nyasi ama nyumba ya matope forever. That's right. But tunatumia njia gani? Hata kama mkisema kwamba the South Asia and whatever, hawa watu kulingana na vile unajua, we are not going to live like we are living in high school life in our families with our families. Kama ni nyumba jengwa na serikali, sio kwa mapato ya mtu as an individual. Serikali ijenge nyumba, mtu mwenye anataka anunue na wa subsidize hizo nyumba. Kila mtu ajitetee individually. So kitu ya kuambia tukate mtu pesa ujengee. Tunajua structures za uongozi wetu ni ukabila. Hizo nyumba zitapeanwa kwa njia ipi? Hiyo ndio discussion yenye tuko nayo. Kuachana na hii vitu ya kutuambia eti so long as vile atafanya we don't care, so long as what?
All right, interesting. Anaitwa Simba Natea. Ashley, how are you? Good morning.
Actually, good morning.
Kwenyu ni good night, eh?
No, it's after 1, around 1 o'clock.
Oh, 1 a.m.?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good morning then. Now, are we back in the dark days? Because after the president gave the directive, already he has begun scoring some points in the courts. Not that he should. What do you make of it?
I believe, I don't know whether to say we are back in the dark days, because I think even Uhuru's time, we were still there. What I think is that, personally, I think that he may have had the judiciary on his side. He had bought them, and it seems someone offered them a better deal, and they shifted. And he got some intelligence that they had shifted. And he's mad about them shifting their allegiance to a higher power. Probably Uhuru bought them out. And these battles, like I said another day, I was here, they are being fought. We are just seeing them, the outbursts and the tantrums, but there are things happening behind the scene. He must have some intelligence that they're leaning on the other side. And previously, the reason he was telling Omtata to go is because he thought, even though he goes to court, he's going to end up nowhere. But now, some intelligence may have come to him that the court has shifted, and Omtata might end up actually winning. So that could make him jumpy, and the way we saw him is because of some information we don't know, but he's coming out there because when people lose, they say, I don't accept what the court has said, but I'm going to respect the court. So when Ruto says that he will not obey those orders that are unjust, what are we going to say? Like the case of this boy who was killed, Jeff, and we could see that what the way his trial, it's not a trial. Whatever has happened, so is he telling those people to take matters into their hands? What message is he communicating to us? Because the court has been so many people have been even they have been this land of that there people fight about land, and you see it goes to one side unfairly. So what are you telling those people? Are you telling them to take matters into their own hands? Because you are our example. So if you're not going to obey orders, then how are you going to require us to obey those orders? Because we are a nation and a government, and we are ruled by the rule of law. It has to apply to him too. He cannot be exempt. And I saw one from Kiambu saying they want to form a commission where cases for the government have a 30-day where they have to be completed. What I am wondering is these cases of corruption, why can't they have the same agency to form a commission where they're set aside to be completed within 30 to 60 days? Why is it the things that they want to do, and why are they so insistent on building these houses? I think these houses, even the land that they are getting for free, because I think we really should help the people. And I wonder why Azimio is not one of the people who in court contesting the financial bill. What Omkia is saying is, when you look more into this housing, you wonder this person is going to get the land for free,
Okay.
do they have a requirement up to how much they can charge for the land? Because you pay for the land and the building. When they get the land for free, does this house has a maximum up to what can be charged? And are they going to give, whoever the investors are, is there some money they're going to give back to the government for the land once they sell it? Or are the houses going to be very cheap? Now, if we are selling houses to workers, assuming today I'm a worker who is also paying the housing levy, but I also have a mortgage, how fair is it for you to expense me that I'm paying a mortgage and I'm also paying a housing levy? That means I will not take advantage of, and most workers have mortgages. And most workers may work in the city, but they want to retire in the country. They don't want to have a permanent structure in the city. So are you going to also build in their villages, or are you going to build them where they work? You see, this is something that should be already out so that we can know if these governments are taking out loans and saying that it's for certain development and they're using that money to pay salaries. How sure are we that the money they have collected from the people will actually go to building houses? And we all go, or they would say, oh, we had to pay. Like even these opposition people, when they agree for these opposition offices, they agree to add opposition office, and it comes with the staff. 2 deputies will come with staff, and then shadow cabinet, and then the prime minister and the 50 CSs, and they also wanted the 1/3 gender rule. Where is this money going to come from paying these people? It might come, and that is why I think that the leadership of Azimio is quiet. They are saying they are fighting out there about the finance bill, but when it comes to going to court, they have not, because they know this money for the housing levy is where their salaries will come from. That's what I think.
All right, I'll be coming to you just now. Angela, vipi habari ya leo? Habari ya asubuhi, natumai uko mzima?
Niko
Umemute tena. Habari ya saa hizi lakini?
Niko mzima, labda nyinyi wapo?
Tuko salama. Wewe unaona kama tumerejea zile siku za utawala mbaya?
Mi naona tulijitupa kwa shimo. Juu hii maisha ya Ruto sasa imekuwa worse than Moi's era. Ukiangalia anasema ana create job opportunity for Kenyans. So nilikuwa najiuliza maswali, hii kujenga nyumba ndio job opportunity for Kenyans, and how long will it last? Inachukua muda gani? Ama ni kitu tu iko pale for short time then wanarudi wanakuwa idle? Why can he build companies for permanent jobs? Yani kujenga nyumba ni ndio kuleta kazi kwa Wakenya, na hii kujenga nyumba ni kitu ya muda tu. Na hizi nyumba anazijenga kwa muda gani? Na haya mashamba anajenga ndani manyumba yanatoka wapi? Yenye haya kuonekana zile enzi, sasa ndio yameanza kuonekana kwa wakati wake. Alafu nikaona sasa na koti wanakorofishana kabisa. Sasa mimi nikaona like anakosa mwelekeo. And sasa anatumia kifua, anajigamba, anataka kuonyesha yeye ndio rais, hakuna mtu mwingine kama sio yeye. And how will you do such a then you expect 2027 you will be on a ballot paper, 2027 you will be on a ballot paper, and 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 you will be on a ballot paper unatarajia kupigiwa tena kura. Why can he just reason out and ask himself, is he driving?
Alright, nikana kwamba niko na shida kidogo Mshiki na Angela, nitajaribu kuona vile nitasaidiana na yeye, lakini zaidi ya yote bwana Generali, maoni yako ni yapi? Tumerejea zile siku mbaya? Generali, jamaa wetu wa Kisii. Generali sorry, acha nipate hii jina vizuri. Generali Obim, sawa, hii jina yako ni refu. Generali Obongi, maoni yako ni yapi kaka? Unmute, itabidi umewasha sauti. Generali, asha sauti yako.
Yes, I think Generali cannot, he's not in a position to talk right now.
Oh, all right, sorry.
Just read on your private chat.
Oh, sorry, niko kwa mashini kadhaa, lakini let's come back to the newspaper. Rais anasema atafagia mahakama. Anasema ya kwamba of course hii ni kufuatana na agizo lake ama ushauri aliopewa na Aben Nasir. Aben Nasir alimwambia huko kotini kumejaa. Of course I'll be playing his sentiments audibly, but alimuadvise akamwambia kwa koti kumejaa uchafu. All right, or rather kumejaa wafisadi. Sasa akamwambia rais, kama utatoboa itabidi umedeal na mahakama. This is what I'm reflecting in Swahili. This is what it says in English, that the president says that Ahmed Nasir Senior Counsel, you warned me, and you warned me of sabotage by corrupt judicial officers. I told you there are many good officers in judiciary and that we will root out the corrupt. We shall, Senior Counsel Moite, we shall, sorry, we shall, okay. Moite Senior Counsel, the impunity of bribing judges so as not to sink or derail or delay or sabotage Kenya's imminent transformation will never happen under my watch. Not a single cent will be used to bribe nobody. Mambo ya wafisadi wote ni yale nilisema. Of course alisema mambo ni matatu. General, nakusikia sasa. Sijui kama uko sawa sasa kuongea. All right. I think uko na challenge kidogo. Let me come back to you, Mr. G. Mr. G, was this advice from Aben Nasir wise? Was it true? I'll be playing what he said, but President ni kama anaanza kuquote watu wenye walimuadvise. Anasema ya kwamba kuna watu walimuadvise that huku kwa koti kuna watu wachafu, or rather kuna watu corrupt. Do you think the advice from Aben Nasir, who has worked in the courts for quite some time now, do you agree with the sentiments? Mr. G? All right. Before my panelist, do you agree with Ahmed Nasir and the sentiments ambazo raised president that alimuadvise ya kwamba kotini kuna watu wachafu, or rather corrupt, and that's why he needs to drain the swamp, or rather deal with the courts? What do you make of that statement?
Okay, Nasir, okay, on my side pia Nasir, I don't believe in Nasir so much, because this is a guy ambaye amekuwa pia akidefend impunity for a very long time. Na mtu ambaye alikuwa he was on the side of government kuanzia kwa Uhuru wa Kibaki, yule mtu amekuwa support impunity. So I always don't take him any serious on everything that he does. But on this issue, as I just said, on this issue there's nothing new. Because after wakati wa Uhuru, as much as we say that Uhuru was a good man, Uhuru was the best, he was not the best. Ile vile watu wanafikiria maybe Uhuru was not saint. But we are saying Uhuru was the best when we compare Uhuru with this conman ambaye hapo sahi ambaye ni Ruto. But Uhuru had a lot of challenges also. This is a guy ambaye hapa ana respect court. The guy ambaye hapa afuati constitution, you see. So all this guy, all our working just the same team. Although some we compare between Uhuru and Ruto, Uhuru was at least better than this guy. So this guy is just a corrupt man and somebody who is a dictator.
Alright, Simba natea sijui kama ni mkono unainua, lakini vipi?
Mr. Jakes. This huyu jamaa huwa anajiita nani? Huyu controversial Ahmed Nasir, huyu jamaa ni one of the most controversial lawyers we have in the country. In fact, matamshi ama mambo yenye ameibua kuhusu judges na magistrates ni mambo ambayo yanatakiwa yachukuliwe kwa uzito mkubwa. Lakini kwanza, has he reported the end of these judges or magistrates to the Judicial Service Commission? If he knows, and if not, mbona hajafanya hivyo? Nasema hivyo kwa sababu Ahmed Nasir ni mtu ambaye wakati wote anything he raises is to praise government of the day, kwa sababu hiyo ndio mesa yake. And that is what exactly he is doing. On this, he will not get it right. Kwa sababu Kenyans are suffering. It's like yeye anachekelea wa Kenya on this. And by the way, he's setting Ruto to the judiciary, ambapo mtu yeyote anatakiwa kukimbilia for any help. So wacha hiyo game ianze, tutaiona mahali itamalizikia. But at the end of the day, this very same government will be brought down by the same judiciary.
All right. Now this is what Ahmed Nasir had to say in
wake. Rais William Ruto ametetea kauli yake kuwa ni sharti kuwepo na marekebisho katika utendakazi wa kitengo cha mahakama nchini. Wakili mkuu Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi ameeleza NTV kuhusu upungufu ulioko kwenye kitengo hicho na ni yapi yanafaa kubadilishwa. Mwanahabari wetu Sydney Chazima aliandaa mahojiano ya moja kwa moja naye wakili huyo.
I mean, I was embedded with the presidential campaign, you know, when he was campaigning to become president. And one of the things I've advised him so many times is about the judiciary, you know, the need to reform the judiciary because the status quo of the judiciary as of 2022 was not tenable going forward. I've told him about, you know, how endemic corruption is, how, you know, the judiciary, you know, will be a very active player in a negative manner in the politics, the economy, and the social progression of society. So the president was alive. I mean, he had his own view on the judiciary. I knew he will come back to it, but I think this is the right time. He thought that he should probably visit that agenda. I think what the president has is, you know, this thing doesn't happen out of the blue. I mean, the courts don't just give injunctions like that, stopping. I mean, it's a network of people sometimes that, you know, plan in advance, prepare lawyers who will represent them, prepare the courts that will listen to them, and get judgments that stop this kind of process. I give an example of a case which the Honorable Paul Mute I was involved in the case myself. During the time of President Kibaki, Uhuru had a lot of problem with the Teacher Service Commission. I mean, they were a headache. And I thought, you know, the best way to solve the problem was through the courts. So it went to one court, went to another court, went to the Supreme Court. And the end result was that the courts, you know, killed teachers' nut and, you know, empowered the Teacher Service Commission. And at one stage, we come to know that, you know, the Office of the President facilitated one of the judgments. A lot of money was given to the courts, and everybody knew that, you know. And I tell guys that the uniqueness of the Uhuru administration, unlike the Moi administration or the Kibaki administration and even the Ruto administration, is that that is one administration where a conscious decision will be made to bribe judges, yes, on very sensitive matters like this one between the Teacher Service Commission and the Kenya Union of Teachers, not. So we have seen
Sikia vile watu wanatoa vituko huku nje. Anasema kwamba kama kuna wakati ambapo watu walikuwa wanaamua kabisa lazima tuhonge koti, ilikuwa wakati wa Uhuru Kenyatta. We maoni so good. Now, Ashley, what do you make of such remarks?
I think what we need to get a lawyer, even if it's on this channel, or there need to be action apart from us just discussing like we are gossiping. We need to do something about it if we can. Now, what we should compel them to do is to bring evidence of what they are saying, or be held liable for what they are saying about the judiciary that is not right, but they should be compelled to produce evidence. If we start holding them accountable, they'll be careful what they say. We also need to call on to the AG to explain what Ruto means. On the three things, I don't remember what the first thing was. I know the second one was go to exile, and the third one is go to heaven. I need an explanation as a citizen what going to heaven means. Is it saying that he's going to kill people, or that they should commit suicide, or what does he mean when he tells people to go to heaven? Someone should take him to court and answer that question.
Interesting. Mr. G, Abenasir anasema kulingana na yeye ya kwamba sheria huku Kenya mara mingi ni yule mwenye ako na pesa ama haki ama justice in our courts. It's the one who is paying the piper. All right? And he's saying wakati wa Uhuru Kenyatta ilikuwa wazi. Sasa saizi ni Ruto anashindwa kuwalipa ama ni anawalipa kidogo? What do you make of it?
Mr. Jex, is not about payment. Because Ruto is shindwa kulipa watu. Na Ruto mwenyewe ana believe in corruption. The issue ni kuwa he's just trying to create an environment whereby atakuwa able. Unaona kama sahi this issue ya housing. Housing, you were told in the court that it is unconstitutional, you see, but still, as much as it is unconstitutional, but we have to continue paying it. Sasa, if something haikubaliani na our constitution, how can we continue paying it and yet it is wrong? In fact, it is the same court ambayo inatufanya to commit crime. You see, so on the issue of payment ama pesa, I think Ruto is trying to manage this court. Whereby atakuwa anaenda against the law, atakuwa ana break laws, atakuwa anaenda against the constitution, but anataka this nini court iwe chini yake. That is kitu moja. Hakuna kitu kingine ni.
Ashley, what is the question?
The question is, if you wanasema tuendelee kulipa, you can also, whatever that judge said, if it's a lower court, you can go to a higher court to dispute or to challenge what that lower court has decided. If they've decided we need to continue.
The court that decided that was the Court of Appeal, unless you go to the Supreme Court.
Right. I've been seeing Trump doing that. He's been going on these issues like this. You keep going all the way to the Supreme Court. You need to go.
Now, this judgment was, it of course, it began from the High Court, where now this ruling was made yesterday was the Appeal Court. And it is tentative, given that by 26th of January, that's when they will give the final verdict. So it's still a stay order.
That's what I'm saying. Even when they make a stay order and they give a ruling to continue to collect, you can take that portion that they have said to continue to the High Court, to the Supreme Court, and ask if something is unconstitutional, how can you continue to collect? To ask the court, the Supreme Court, to stay on that too, until a decision is made. Because why is it still being collected if it's illegal?
Actually, Ruto, yeye hatumii sheria. Yeye anatumia akili yake na mawazo yake na sheria yake. It was unconstitutional. But he's not following the constitution of Kenya. That is the problem where he is. He's
not the one submitting the money. So if the courts say that it's unconstitutional, even though Ruto tells people to bring the housing levy, they don't have to. We are the ones who are giving him power. Those people who are meeting, who are taking the money from their employees, are the ones who giving the power, because if the court is in the constitution, what should Ruto say? Don't stop collecting. What he has to do that is not within the confines of his authority.
All right. Simba Natea, wewe unaona kama Ruto ana operate akitumia sheria yake, so hata koti kiamua vile itaamua yeye hata ajali. Hivyo ndio Angela anasema hapa. Simba? All right. Sorry, I think hata yeye ameshikika. Watu wengi ambao wako kwa show leo either wako manyumbani or wako kazini, so mtatuelewa kidogo kama kutakuwa na mshiki kiasi kwa communication yetu, lakini we will really try and sort out all these issues even as we go on. But allow me to read some one or two comments.
Kuna mtu amesema ati maybe payment ndio ati payment kwa Ruto sio shida kulipa hao ma charges, wafanye what he wants. But remember Maraga aliwaambia ya kwamba mkichukua siasa muweke kwa sheria mtapoteza Kenya. So hapo ndio kuna mvutano. Maraga alisema tukichukua siasa tuingize kwa koti tutapoteza Kenya. Because the politicians wanataka ufanye vile wanataka hawatataka ufuate sheria. Sasa unaona hapo ndio kuna shida.
All right. I hope mnanisikiza vizuri and sauti yangu inawafikia vizuri. Namuona Black ako ndani. Asante sana bwana Black, good to see you. Jamaa umepotea sana, karibu sana kwa show. Good, unasema aje kwamba Kenya have always been in the dark days. It's not the first or the last. We just have to calm down and let Ruto finish his term. Then we can judge. Uhuru was given chances after chances. Now let me bring in Ashley on this one. Uhuru was synonymous in breaking the law, or rather defying court orders. Si mara moja alipewa so many court orders, including time ya Miguna, and he defied all of them. They were countless, and many others, including the CISs, including one time he was even given an advisory to avunje parliament because of lack of 2/3 gender rule and all. Is it that William Ruto is unable to try to play smart, but that is the direction is headed of equally breaking the law?
Wow, that's a really hard one. You know, Uhuru, I don't even know what to say, but I think people are tired. And when Ruto lied to people, I think when you lie to people the way he did, and talking about dynasty against Hustler, and they believed him, and then they come, he doesn't even stay, he's not even pretending from day one. Once he put the Bible down, he changed. He became a distributor. I think that's shock. And because, you know, Uhuru, he had people on his side up to a point. But Ruto doesn't even seem to care about the very people who chose him. He keeps saying, I was elected and I am going to do what I have already planned. But he didn't elect himself. He's forgetting to take his supporters with him. If he explained, if UDA was arguing against Azimio, that would be something else. But it's like UDA and Azimio are teamed up against him, and he seems not to care. He wants to do what he wants to do, regardless of what anyone says, whether they voted for him or they didn't vote for him. Even those judges that put him in place, now he's calling them thugs. So I don't know whether it is the spirit of confusion that like the one that entered Saul. I don't know what is going on, but he doesn't seem to be wise at all. At all. He seems to feel invisible. It's like the leadership have got inside him to where he doesn't feel like he needs anybody. He's going even the people in his government, they're just keeping quiet. Because I've had even in ministers, he's going to their positions to appoint people in their departments. So you see, they're just keeping quiet. Today, Alice Wahome, you see, like they wanted, I think, to steal some land in Kiambu. And those titles, the title they are wanting to use is an old title. So who is this so powerful that even the police or the city to come and to steal that land and tell those people that they have fake titles? So you see, there are some people even in his own government that are turning against him because he has changed. You know, he has not known to keep some people on his side, apart from his tribe. And I think that's the big problem. He does not know how to act with tact. And then they are so proud from the very beginning. I think had they gone down and worked with wisdom and tried to say, now let us work together because we won almost half, we are going to include the other side, the country would have been peaceful. But he has acted very unwisely. He has worked like Jeroboam. Is he called Jeroboam? The son of Solomon, who took over after Solomon died. He is listening to the Dinyoro, young men who are very proud, who are very arrogant, who are very greedy, and he's not even listening to divergent views. Yet during the BBI, he was asking them to listen to him. It's not like he doesn't know, but something has got into him that he's out of character. What? I don't know.
All right. But then again, Bwana G, Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa notorious in assuming, in fact, one of the advice Senator wa Kiambu alimpea, Uhuru alivunja all those laws and he was taken nowhere. So he was advising him, hata wewe rais, vunja sheria na hautapelekwa mahali. In fact, he was saying, aliambiwa this was unconstitutional, for example, stories za CAS, and CAS bado waliendelea kulipwa mshahara na waliendelea kufanya kazi despite them being told that it was unconstitutional. So he was advising the president avunje sheria na hakuna mahali atapelekwa. Wacha tusikize hiyo, then I have you Bwana G, and welcome so much Julia, and as well many joining us hapo kwa comment section.
Sababu nimekuwa nikizunguka hapa na pale, nimekutana na watu wa Nyandarua na wengi wamenituma Mheshimiwa Rais, wakaniambia ukirudi kule Kiambu, ambia rais mwenye alikuweko, mulituletea hapa 2013 na 2017 na tukamchagua. Rudi kwako Kiambu, umwambie apatie Rais William Ruto nafasi na yeye atufanyie kazi. Na Mheshimiwa Rais, sababu nasikia hapa hata Dinyoro amesema yule ana sponsor makesi ni rais aliyekuwa hapo ambaye ni mpigaji kura katika kaunti yangu. Sasa ajue tuko na rais ambaye ni William Samoei Ruto, ambaye tuliamuka asubuhi na mapema tukamchagua aendeleshe Kenya yetu mbele, si ndio? Na sasa vile niliambiwa hivyo na watu wa Nyandarua, nikaketi chini Mheshimiwa Rais, nikajiuliza, wakati koti ambaye anataka kutumia ilitoa sheria ati yeye aachishe CAS kazi sababu hiyo kiti sio constitutional, yeye hakufuata sheria ya koti hiyo. Wale waliendelea kukaa kazini na yeye hakupelekwa mahali. Mheshimiwa Rais, hatukwambie uvuje sheria, lakini jua pia wewe hautapelekwa mahali. Ilifika watu wa Korogosho, Mheshimiwa Rais, koti ikaamua wasitolewe pale, lakini yeye akawatoa na hakupelekwa mahali. Mheshimiwa Rais, hatukwambie uvuje hiyo, lakini pia wewe hautapelekwa mahali. Mheshimiwa Rais, wanataka kutumia koti ndio usijenge manyumba. Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa, mimi nakuomba tafadhali, hawa mahasla wanangoja kazi. Wewe wacha tujenge kazi, manyumba, na sababu wewe hautapelekwa mahali. Ya mwisho kabisa, hii barabara ya Ihithe na Donyonjeru, tumekuja hapa na Senator Medhu, sababu mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa barabara. Rais alinipatia hiyo kazi. Rais amesema atajenga. Waziri our deputy president amesema atajenga. Wabunge wa hapa wote wamekubaliana itajengwa. Mimi kama mwenyekiti nimekubalia. Mwenyekiti wa environment amekubalia. Alafu mtu mmoja ameenda kotini na anaenda kwa NEMA ati hiyo barabara isijengwe. Mheshimiwa, nakwambia sisemi uvunje sheria, lakini jenga na hutapelekwa mahali. Sababu ni vibaya ati wabunge wamepitisha kitu, alafu mtu mmoja ambaye alikuwa kwa hiyo bunge anaenda kotini kusimamisha mambo ambayo inafanyika, na koti inasikiza huyu mmoja, haisikii hawa wengine. Hii ni kitu ambayo inabidi tuanze kuangalia kama viongozi wa nchi. Ati mtu mmoja anaweza enda kotini aseme hawa watu wote hawakujua vile walikuwa wanafanya, wewe tu ndio unajua. Hapana. Niseme kama rais, hapana. Hapana. Hiyo tunakataa. Kwa hivyo
hiyo wadau wanakataa. Asante sana, naona Daumi amejaja na Julia. Julia, uliingia wa kwanza. Julia, maoni yako ni yapi? Ruto, sorry, this question was to Mr. G. Sawa, nimeanza kuwa mzee. So acha nianze na Mr. G, alafu Julia, alafu Domi, alafu
Julia. Give Julia and then I'll come in later.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. G. Unajua sikutaka useme nimekunyang'anya ikiwa kwa mdomo. Julia, maoni yako ni yapi? Hii advice anaambiwa avunje sheria kwa sababu waliomtangulia walivunja. Hiyo ni advice ya aina gani?
Wow. Good to see you, Jake. Santi, wow, I have just watched with dismay. I mean, two wrongs cannot make a right. Kama mwenzako alikosea, taanza kusema kwamba alifanya makosa na mimi nifanye makosa, sitapelekwa mahali. Come on. I mean, and these guys are speaking in the limelight of the public, and they are speaking to the press, and they don't know that internet never forgets. Oh my goodness. Sijui Kenya inaenda wapi. Mimi maoni yangu ni kwamba Kenya inaenda kuangamia. I don't justify what Uhuru did, but the truth is, I really never monitored what he did. Even people here cannot really tell you all the things that Uhuru defied. Why? Because a lot of them did not affect us directly. A lot of them. I mean, and even if he had the CAS, hatukuwa tunang'ang'ana tukufikiria kwamba wanalipwa pesa ngapi kwa sababu our children were going to school. I mean, just 1 year ago, we were paying 16,000 for university fee. We were getting treatment for NHIF. I personally have had relatives use NHIF even to in expensive hospitals. So, I mean, we didn't feel that judiciary thing. And so whatever Uhuru defied, he did a wrong thing. But now the things that Ruto is doing, we can feel it. For example, those who are civil service and those who are employed in the formal employment, wanalipishwa hiyo house levy. Sasa unaona au jamaa sijua, yani I just look at that guy. Huyu jamaa ni MP wa wapi? This idiot talking like that. Utapelekwa mahali.
Huyo ni senator wa Kiambu.
Oh my goodness. I just wonder, no wonder people call our leaders from Mount Kenya to geges. I don't blame them. Kweli tuli wa Mount Kenya walichagua Tugeges, and they are crooks. Tugeges and crooks. So that's sad. But now looking at the judiciary, the issue of the judiciary, I want to repeat this. I said this during the day. Earlier when Njiru alikuwa, si Njiru, nani alikuwa hapo, Lia alikuwa hapa, kwamba judiciary pia is to blame. Now, someone was asking here kwamba Uhuru used to give money to the judiciary. I don't know how true that is. Neither can I say he did not do that. So, sitamtetea. So, someone was asking, kwani Ruto hawapatii pesa? Unajua nini? Hakuna pesa, Jake. Jake, unajua hakuna pesa saa hii ya kurusha ovyo ovyo. Ruto gave all the money during elections and before elections to win. Na akapatia kina Kome pesa ndio ashinde. Ndio wa throw out the case. So what has happened, vile ameingia kama president, you know, out there he was thinking Uhuru had a lot of money at his disposal. And he was thinking that Uhuru was running things juu serikali ilikuwa na pesa. And probably Uhuru was really struggling to make things meet, and maybe after Uhuru became retired, pengine Uhuru alisema good riddance, hii nchi imenichosha. Ushaona mtu mwenye ameoa bibi na jitarisha bibi nini, huyo ni Ruto. Ruto sasa amejipata kwa hiyo seat na hakuna pesa haitoshi. He's trying to add 1 + 1, it's not adding. And then Commerce waliahidwa nini pesa, and the budget increased. So the budget was increased while the money is not coming. So the judiciary are mad, like hakuna pesa, and I won't be surprised hata mshahara yao hailipi in time, ni vile hawataki kuongea.
All right.
So that is why there is a conflict. So Kenyans, it is not that the judiciary is on your side. These are birds of the same feathers, and they are fish from the same pot. It's just that saizi hakuna pesa ya ku wakiwachotea. Mambo ni mabaya, Jake. Asanti.
Well, the math is not mathing. Domi, maoni yako ni yapi? Wewe unaona vipi? Watu wavunje sheria kwa sababu waliotangulia walivunja sheria?
Okay, hamjamboni.
Hatujambo.
Okay, unajua sasa hapo, let's take it on individual opinion. Huyo mtu anasema watu wavunje sheria. Okay, hiyo ni opinion yake. But now the question is, what are you going to end up with? You see, I always say this. Everybody has a right of opinion.
All right.
But your opinion tells everybody who you are. Better you agree to be corrected on your opinion than end into a ditch or lead people into a ditch. Because apparently your wrong opinion will turn back to you at one point. You can never run away. You can never run away from your statement unless you admit you are wrong and withdraw it. Let me start off by there was a statement that I think it was you said it's Black who said that we have been having we have been having presidents disobeying court orders from the past. So we continue. Now let's now be realistic on analysis. Yeah. Moi twisted the court. Yeah. Moi twisted the courts. Majorly, there is no much of disobeying court orders. Though he also disobeyed some orders, but he hardly disobeyed the orders. But what he did, he used to twist the court to do what he wants. Kibaki disobeyed 1 or 2 court orders. Yeah, not so many. Uhuru disobeyed many court orders. Ruto has disobeyed almost all court orders. We cannot compare the two. We cannot compare. I will say this. Probably if you can, because I can remember very well several times if Uhuru, most of these the parliamentary decisions when they were quashed by the courts, he took the bill back to be polished. That is what he used to do. Let's be realistic. Let us not give a blanket judgment. He used to go back. He took the bill back to be corrected before he took it to the public. And that is a fact. Ruto, he's being told go and correct the bill. He is not going to correct, but he's declared to disobey, one, and he goes to twist the court. So you cannot compare. You cannot compare. Yeah. Let me talk to Kemboi. Kemboi is talking of there was some money during Uhuru's time. Why didn't he not pay all the debts? Uhuru used to pay his debts. Yeah, he paid his debts during within its time. Yeah, and that is a fact. Ruto should pay the debts. It is a fact. And Uhuru did not keep complaining. Yeah. Uhuru did not keep complaining. He paid his debts. Though he said, okay, he commented on big debts, yes, but he paid. He used to pay silently. Ruto should not make noise on the debts and keep quiet. Shut up. If you don't want to rule, keep off. Uhuru may have done wrong, but we can with Ruto we cannot compare. Probably if we can say Uhuru probably did wrong something like 30%. Ruto is doing wrong 80%. We cannot compare the two. Life is about comparison. So please, guys, let us reason straight. You cannot give a blanket so that to cover a fool doing wrong things. Yeah, you cannot compare. You cannot give a blanket judgment so that to cover up a fool who is doing disaster to the country. Yeah, because what? Okay, let's say what Nani was doing. At least he sustained the economy. He was able to balance and make things move. Ruto anaendesha ndege ikiwa haina mafuta. Yeah? Tuseme Uhuru alikuwa anaendesha ikiwa na mafuta to the lowest. But Ruto is anaendesha ndege yenye haina mafuta. And you are here and somebody can dare turn around and compare him to any other. Guys, look here. If the court cannot be obeyed, then we as citizens may as well decide to disobey it. Yeah? He's one. He may be having the forces, yes, but remember he's one. We are 50 million. If we decide to disobey the court, will he sit there? Yeah, will he sit there? The problem with the current president, hataki kutumia akili. I'm sorry to say that, but that's a fact. Why can't you generate something so that you can steal? You want to steal mpaka na ng'ombe pia? Tafadhali. Can he just see? The problem is that. And please, wale wenye wanaongea huko nyuma, tafadhali, before you speak, think. Think critically before you speak before people. Yes, it's your opinion, but inakuleta wapi? How is it bringing you to look like? Now, this another question I want to pose to Kenyans. Wakati wanajenga hizo nyumba zenye wanaimba singing, building the houses. How many houses can be built in a year? How many? Watajenga gapi? And how many Kenyans are there to occupy those houses?
Okay.
How many civil servants will be able to contribute enough to own those houses? There are some people who will be celebrating, oh, we have the houses. Yes. Now the question also comes, You want to other people wakatwe pesa yao because that is their money. Hiyo ni pesa yao. They had and money. Wewe unasherekea akatwe pesa yako, wajenge nyumba yenye hata faidika nayo. Really? Ruto himself has been here to say, mbona watu hamtaki watu wengine wapate ajira? You just away you have made the industrialists to leave. You are threatening some. Threaten this guy mwenye the sugar industrialist. Until I understand he was supposed to be moving out of the country. That was employment. He was generating, that is employment. Umefukuza huyo, alafu nataka kutuambia mambo ya nyumba. Nyumba ita-employ watu wangapi at one time? How many? Even if you are building an estate, it's not going to employ more than 3,000 people at a go. And how long is it going to take? If you are going to build an estate for how long? Probably by the end of 1 year itakuwa imeisha. Alafu baada ya kumaliza, okay, you are building it in Nairobi. What about somebody who is in Kakamega? What about yule mwenye ako Ushago? Naye, the money that they are collecting will not be enough to build all houses at a go in the whole nation. So that is not employment that you are thinking of sustain. That's not a sustainable employment. Guys, those people who are supporters of Ruto, can you open your eyes and see? Can you just open your eyes and see? That is not sustainable thing. It's only going to for 1 year. Building probably an estate is going to be for 1 year. After that, 3,000 people, no employment anymore. After building the houses, okay, there are people who have occupied. They have finished building the houses. After that, okay, you are forgetting that the taxes that are deducted on people is what is going to build the houses. Now, you need another employment so that tax can be found. Tunatakikana tuwe na ng'ombe, ndio tunatakikana tuwe na nini, we must have grass so that a zebra can eat grass and a lion gets his food. If there will be no grass, there will be no food for the zebra. Zebras die, the lion will also die. We need people. We need a production, other part of production, so that people can get, so that the government can get money from there, and from there so that the people can get employment there. That employment you are cut with hiyo 1.5% ndio ikuja ijenge hizo nyumba. People reason outside the box. Kenyans, open your eyes. You are being deceived, and you accept to be deceived by one person, just one person. Anaweka box in you wote. Come on.
All right.
Okay, I stop there.
Anaitwa Domi.
I want to add something on what you have said about it not being sustainable. Supposing people who lives in the village and they live in, the way people build in their homestead, but maybe they don't have a very good house. So they are being taken out tax. So they decide they want a house. So when they come to build in that village, because the counties are giving, they say the counties will be giving out land. So are you going to go and buy a house in a communal place and leave your homestead? It is not practical in the villages for you to leave your homestead to go and buy a house in the city or in the little town. So now you'll be going back home to look at your animals, take care of your animals, take care of your old parents. It's not going to be practical. So what might happen is this teacher is going to buy that house and use it for investment. Have they put something down where to say, are this house going to be owner occupied, or are they going to also allow them to be investment opportunities? And if there are going to be investment opportunities, then it defeats the purpose of saying that you're creating housing to help those people without houses. So I don't think this thing has been thought through. And if the judge passes, there will have done a disservice to Kenyans, because we need to see the plan. We need to see the plan on paper so we can read. Like they have something called HUD in the US, and it's it's explained very well how you can get those houses, and their government housing. But there is, how the procedure of getting them, who qualifies and what are the circumstances, whether you can get an owner occupied or it has to be an investment. Those are things that have not been discussed in this housing levy. And then if they have more people wanting houses than there are houses, how are they going to decide who gets the house and who does not? Being that every one of those people who have contributed feel that they are owed a house. Yeah.
All right. Bonaleo, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Jack. I'm fine, thank you. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic. I saw you had an awesome show, Jana. I really enjoyed huku nyuma ya tent.
That's great. You can see Ashley is there. Julia is still awake. I saw her yesterday. So it tells me Kenyans are really working hard. Domi, long time. Mr. G, habari za pwani. And everybody over there, I can see people are really contributing. Hii mambo ni kama imechemuka. I can see Matondet na kina Angela Sidadi pale. So I don't have much to say this morning. I just found that something that is making headlines basically is this issue of courts. And what I can say, just at a personal level, not institutional level, is that one of the responsibilities or one of the roles of the president is to protect the Constitution. He is supposed to protect and obey the Constitution. So he is the number one protector of the Constitution. Just like if today you employ somebody to take care of your house, so if this person becomes the first one to break in your house, then it tells you anybody else will be able to break in that house. At the moment you see the soldier or the watchman breaking into the house that he's been mandated with the responsibility of protecting, then even those people who are passing along the road who did not have an idea of stealing, they'll have to break into the house. So it's a wrong precedence and a wrong example to Kenyans. And every Kenyan outside there will now start disobeying the court orders and breaking the law. Then apart from that, I've had so many people trying to say how Uhuru Kenyatta disobeyed the court orders, how Kibaki disobeyed the court orders, and how the second president, Daniel Moi, disobeyed the court orders. I think Kenyans, we should not justify a wrong thing using a wrong example. Yes, it is true that these people who appeared before Ruto did the same thing, but we now need to get out of that and make a difference. So we can't make a difference if we keep on justifying the wrong with what happened before. So coming here to say that, Uhuru Kenyatta disobeyed these orders, Kibaki also did this, so expect the same with Ruto. Actually, the main reason why elections are done after every 5 years is to correct the mistakes. If indeed these guys were not making some mistakes, or they are not prone to make some mistakes, then we will not be going for elections. We'll just be having somebody to rule till death separate them with that seat, then we get another person. So why do we elect after every 5 years? So that we can be able to get, did you manage to do this well? Then if you elected, you need to do things differently and make the difference. So it's really wrong. And lastly, maybe to talk on this housing issue. The problem is that the people who don't have houses in this country are the poor, are the people at the bottom line of this economy. They're the people who are not having pay slips. They're people who are not having formal employment. So in other words, they're the people who will not manage to contribute to this scheme. And it is a lie. It is evil to tell these people that you are building for them houses when you know very well that the very people who might or who may qualified to occupy these houses are the people who are part of the scheme, the people whose monies have been deducted. I've had Ashley say something so interesting and so important about those people who are in the counties. For example, I come from Siaya County, and it's basically our tradition, and it's basically that you have to build back at your rural. So why do you think somebody, a teacher who is employed at their rural in their county, will really be able to leave the ancestral land and maybe the personal land in Siaya to go and own a bed sitter in Nairobi or to go and own a bed sitter in Mombasa? Is it what? I think it is practically impossible. If the government really wants to ensure that even those people who are employed and are earning some less salaries should get houses, then it would be possible if these things were done at the county level or at the regional level, something that is not really possible because getting land is not there. So this thing is only practical in urban. That person who is already having a house in the rural and now need an extra house in town. And of course, Kenyans who are able, you'll find that you have your house in Nairobi and you also have your house back in the rural. So it is for the purposes of luxury. It is not that you really need that house. And lastly, we don't have the housing problem in Kenya. The problem that we have in Kenya is that people don't have money to afford these houses. How many vacants do you see in a day, Jakes, around where you stay? I think you can't walk 200 meters before you see vacant house. So there's so many vacant houses. There are so many vacant houses. So the only thing that is lacking, people don't have money to occupy these houses. So somebody telling you that people are living in slums because we don't have enough houses in Kenya, that we need to build more houses, that is a lie. We are having more houses than we can, they can accommodate Kenyans. So the problem is not houses. The houses are available. They've been built. Construction industry have been there for long. It has never cured this unemployment. And if it is supposed to cure unemployment, then it means it is going to be temporary. How long are they going to take to build these units? And once they're done, so these guys, employment is going to be done. They're going to work for a year. Then after that, what next for them and their families? So the government should look for ways of creating employment and stop hiding behind these schemes. It is a matter of fact that there are some interested parties of interested private investors who is, most of them are members in the government. So they want to enjoy free land, whereby the government is going to give them public land for free in pretense that they are going to put on these affordable houses. So they are going to get public land for free. They are not going to pay taxes and rates. Then again, you are paying a mortgage. They're going to earn money from that. So this is just another pyramid scheme. And that is why the government is forcing it on us, and they want to speed it as fast as possible. So that the moment you know the truth in it, then already they'll tell you money has been spent, the houses are halfway. Thank you, and a very good morning.
All right, fantastic. I see my good friend Omolo Molo is in the building and many joining. Namwona John Jenga ako ndani, Angie Angela ako ndani, Omolo ambaye pia anajitanga Graphene ako ndani. Omolo na majina mingi lakini alisema alibadilisha majina baada ya UDA kumfanya ile kitu. Sasa sijui kama atachange Omolo Molo kwa sababu UDA bado amemfanya tena ile kitu. Lakini zaidi ya yote, karibu sana kwa hii show. Mato Ndeto, I see you, asante sana. I see your comments and sentiments, good year, and many ambao wanatujoin. Asante pia kwa wale ambao wana likes, mmefanya kazi nzuri, naona wengi sana. John Mwangi, asante kwa kulike hii video. Dan Kemboi, I see you, thank you very much for liking the video. Rono, I see you, thank you very much. Tony Boy, I see you, asante sana. Silvan, asante sana. Brayongo, asante sana kwa kulike video. Wayne Simiyu, asante sana. Angie Angela, asante kwa kulike hii video, and also as well asante kwa kusubscribe to Afriq 24. All right, thank you very much. Now let me come to who now. Ashley, you have sent me a link, I hope you have, so that I can play that video you're requesting. But Omolo unakuwa na bahati ya mtende, unaingia kama umepewa muda wa kuongea mara mingi huwa haihappen hivyo, but maoni yako ni yapi? Je, tumerejea katika zile siku za zamani, zile siku ambazo tulisema ni siku za giza, utawala wa kimababu, utawala wa kifua nisemacho lazima kitendeke, liwalo na liwe, upende usipende, it is my way or the highway. Yeah. And the president is seriously firing from all cylinders. Aliwatishia koti kidogo tu hivi na tayari washaanza kurule vile yeye anataka mambo yaende. Wewe unaona vipi? Tumerudi zile siku za giza.
Kwanza kabisa shukran sana bwana Jex na wadau wote wale ambao na panelists mko hapa pamoja na wale ambao wanatufuatilia katika comment section. Wote nawasalimia, good morning, good evening, good afternoon wherever you are watching Mtembee live in this globe. Na pia nachukua fursa hii kuwatakia mwaka mpya wenye heri, wenye fanaka, na tukitarajia kwamba ni mwaka ambao labda Wakenya tunaweza kujikomboa kutoka minyororo hii ya utumwa, minyororo ya kiimla. Kwanza nataka kusema kwamba hii si kitu hata kusema tunahitaji mass science kuangalia kwamba ule president tuko nayo anafikiria kwamba kile kitu ambayo iko kwa akili yake kinafaa kwa kila Mkenya. Kile kitu ambayo kilifanya kwamba Wakenya watengeneze katiba, the law, the constitution, it is what binds us, you know. Ndio tukitaka kufanya kila kitu, hiyo ndio mwongozo. Sasa wewe ukitaka kufanya maendeleo ile ambayo inakinzana na katiba, si katiba ndio utaweka kando, ni hiyo mipango yako ndio utaweka kando. Katiba lazima iwe ndio ya kwanza. Kwa hivyo Ruto tumeona kwamba ni mtu ambao akizungumza huwezi kuamini maneno yake apart from jina yake peke yake. The only thing that you can believe in our president is his only name, you know, because we know that is his name, but anything else. Sababu wakati akifanya campaign alikuwa anasisitiza kwamba kuna deep state, kuna state capture, na kwamba hizi taasisi lazima ziwachwe zikuwe huru. Lakini leo yeye ndiye amekuwa sasa the original state capture. Yeye sasa anataka kucapture everywhere. The independence of judiciary si kitu hata ya kudiscuss hata kidogo, sababu wao ndio wako na authority, wao ndio wenye hiyo kazi ya kutafsiri sheria. Kwa hivyo hata ukiwa na dream ya kulete maendeleo aina gani, lakini sheria haiambatani nayo, huwezi kusema ati kwamba utatishia sheria. Hapana, hiyo dream yako utaweka kando, ama hiyo dream yako uende ushape vile ambayo itaingiana na hiyo sheria. Kwanza tumeona kwamba ni mtu ambao anapenda kutumia mabavu. Kwanza alianza kutishia wale watu ambao wanapeleka kesi kotini. Koti iko pale sababu ya arbitration. Kama mimi naye tumekosana, sasa ile kitu Ruto anaenda kufanya, anaenda kuseta very bad precedent, sababu ikiwa yeye kama kiongozi atasema kwamba heshimu koti, sasa wale majunior state officers kutoka yeye kukuja chini, kesho nao wakikataa sasa kwamba watakosa kuheshimu koti, tutakuwa na nchi aina gani? Kesho siasa akikushika na sema kwamba atakufanyia bila atafanya na manake, ama kesho umeenda umechukua kotoda, alafu unakuja unapatia taasisi ambayo inafaa kuifanya, alafu akatae, sababu kama president mwenyewe amesema kwamba koti ni wakora. Sasa nani ataamini? Okay, ikiendelea hivyo, kesho sasa sisi wananchi tukidevelop resistance, polisi huwezi kunishika, maanake huwezi kunipeleka koti, maanake president wetu ametuambia koti ni ya wakora. Kwa hivyo utanishika unipeleke wapi? Kwako nyumbani. So you see that kind of confusion that is creating for this country, ambao sasa anataka kutupa nchi katika msitu. Jambo la pili, why should we pay our tax to fund the office of the attorney general? Sababu office ya attorney general iko pale kumpatia advice president na kumuongoza katika sheria. President don't need to fight with courts. We have the office of attorney general that is fully funded by the taxpayers. Kama ni hivyo, anataka kuwa anajifanyia mambo kichwa, then ofisi Attorney General ifungwe. Kwa nini tuendelee kulipa pesa kwa Attorney General, mtu ambao anafaa kuwa yeye ndiye anasimamia hizo makesi ziko kotini? Sababu what we see here is that I think Ruto mwenyewe labda amekuwa akijaribu kuwaonga majaji, na sasa labda imekuwa too expensive for him, sababu makesi zinaenda kotini kila wakati. That is why you see how is reacting. Lakini kama wewe unaamini kazi zako, uko na kama Attorney General huyu ako naye si competent enough, anafanya kesi zako zinashindwa, weka kando, tafuta Attorney General mwingine mwenye ako competent enough kwenda kufight na hawa na kina Okiya Mtata na wale wengine ambao wanapeleka kesi kotini. Lakini koti iache ifanye kazi. Wewe tafuta mawakili wako wazuri, weka Attorney General ule ambao wako sharp, kama unaona huyu ni mazalala akufai. Kwa hivyo hii mambo ya kuongozwa na kifua, nafikiri wa Kenya tulitoka huko, na hii Kenya ya sasa si kama ile Kenya ya zamani ambao mtu alikuwa anafikiri kwamba ataamka na uongozi kuliko kulingana na kichwa yake. Jambo la pili katika hii mambo, unaona aheshimu koti, ndio unaona siku hizi watu Kenya imerudi katika extrajudicial killings. Unasikia watu wamekuwa kidnapped na wameenda wametoweka. These are state agencies ambao wanafanya hivyo because there is no regard of the law again. If you remember what Maraga told us, kwamba nchi ndio iweze kujiongoza vizuri, lazima iheshimu sheria, iheshimu katiba na iweze pia kuheshimu Mungu. Sasa wewe unasema uwezi kuheshimu katiba, na wakati the same katiba ulienda ikakufanya ukuwe president na ukapiga magoti ukatoa machozi ya mamba. Leo hii huyo mwenye alikufanya akuwe president, huyo mwenye alikuapisha, ndio unamuita kwamba ni mkora, ndio unasema ni koti ya wakora. It is so unfortunate kwamba tuko na president ambao hawezi kuheshimu koti, hawezi kuheshimu katiba. And I think mimi nimekuwa nikisema kila wakati, I think number one, kama kuna mtu amesoma psychology hapa, anaweza kukuambia narcissistic behavior. What our president is suffering from a narcissistic mental disorder. Na I think hata kule inaenda katiba, ni lazima kwamba tuhakikishe kwamba president time to time lazima tuwe na physician nzuri ambao anaangalia mental state yake, because ukiangalia hizo sifa ako nazo is for a narcissist. Narcissists always, number one, they want to create attention. They like creating attention. Number two, they are always defensive. Number three, they always count themselves as right, irrespective of what. So our president is suffering from that narcissistic mental disorder. And until something is done, tutakuwa tunaelekea mahali pabaya, because parliament amewaweka kwa makwapa. We have a speaker of the National Assembly that he does not know his job. He thinks that his job is to dance tune with the president. You don't know that their work is to oversight the government. We have a majority leader who is a chorister. You see, so we have the committee in the parliament that they know that the only thing they do is to praise William Ruto. That is why this country inakuwa ni difficult, na hakuna mtu wa kumwandama, because at this moment parliament inafaa kuwa inafanya oversight. Hiyo ndio kazi ambayo ilichaguliwa, irrespective of the affiliation you come from. Sasa hii haifai watu kwa wanaongea mambo ya UDA, mambo ya nini, huko tulitoka. Wanafaa kuwa anafanya kazi yao ya oversight. Wetangula juzi nilisikia akienda huko Western akiongea akisema, sisi kama chama ya tawala, how can a speaker that is supposed to be impartial, neutral, bado unaenda kuongea mambo ya parties, political parties? I think this leadership is not serious, or they don't have idea on governance, ama ni watu tu ambao walienda pale wakiwa na very different agenda. Lakini hii mambo ya president kutumia kifua against judiciary, it is something that should be condemned, it should be blamed. So ninafurahi kwamba hii mambo ya kutudanganya wa Kenya naye amejaibisha dunia mzima. Can you imagine, alikaa akatangazia dunia mzima kwamba by January kila mtu atakuwa anakuja Kenya bila visa. Alafu imefika January wanaongea mambo mengine. How can a president unaenda unatoa kitu with timeline, kama hauna uhakika ama hauna hiyo authority ya kuimplement. Sasa saizi Kenya imejiweka aibu kubwa dunia nzima, because you know many countries, many tourists ambao walikuwa wanataka kuja walikuwa wanangojea, na alisema Januari, including hata Julius Malema alikuwa anangojea hiyo Januari, alikuja hapa akasema anangojea hiyo Januari, and everybody knew that kwamba ilikuwa ni uongo, na sasa amejidhihirisha kwamba ni mwongo. Kwa hivyo ukikuwa na president ambao number one ni mwongo, saizi hakuna state institution ambayo inafanya kazi. Tusidanganywe na kuambiwa, kama juzi mwingine pale alikuwa anasema economy ya Kenya ina grow kushinda China. Really, even if you are talking to mad people in Mathare, how can you even compare to say that economy ya Kenya iko juu kuliko China? You know, sometimes ndio nakwambia, these people they have mental disorder, they have mental problems, ambao wengi wanafaa kwanza wapelekwe wapate physician mzuri, psychiatrist mzuri kwanza, na wakipimwa vizuri, I'm sure 3/4 of them president akiwa kwanza, sababu our president anadanganya, either kuna short memory, either kuna hiyo that narcissistic behavior pia ina affect pia the way of thinking, sababu unaongea hii leo, kesho unaongea tofauti. The other day alikuwa anaambia waandishi wa habari kwamba ukienda Mukuru kwa Njenga utafikiri uko London, you know, utafikiri uko Europe, na waandishi wa habari wakaenda Mukuru kwa Njenga, iko slum, mafuriko yanataka kubeba watu. So which country are we in? Unaongea kuwa unataka kufanya kitu ambayo inaitwa production, na huku unasema unataka kupeleka vijana 1,000,000 wakafanya kazi Saudi Arabia, sijui wakafanya wapi kazi. How do you grow economy? By exporting manpower. How do you grow economy? By exporting human resource. These giant countries that they are importing their human resource is because they want to enhance the production. Lakini wewe unasema you want to enhance production when you are and even this thing hii ambao unapeleka watu nje, this is a modern day slavery. Unauza watu, sababu ukipeleka watu Saudi Arabia bado wako ile system ya zamani. Ukisikia huyu Bore huyo CS wa labor, kumbuka labor, CS wa labor ana authority ikifika Saudi Arabia. It can only sign some agreements and it can only be effective within the Republic of Kenya. Ikifika Saudi Arabia, they are on their own. The embassy is outside. Our embassy is outside. They are dormant. They are not working. Because why? Kuna a lot of bureaucracy katika embassies. Unaenda kwa embassy unapata desk ziko mbili. Ukiuliza hii unaambiwa, oh, we have to contact the MFA. Uki-email the MFA unaambiwa, oh, we have to consult with the Attorney General. You know, ukifika hapo unaambiwa, no, we have to consult with the diaspora department. Confusion everywhere. And then now you are exporting people. There is no mechanism. Hao watu wakipata shida, hakuna vile ambao umearrange kwamba they can be repatriated. Government cannot foot their bill to be repatriated. Wakikuwa gonjwa, they are not covered. Alafu unasema tu kwamba unataka kupeleka. Hata kukiwa na disaster, juzi kulikuwa na
Omolo, maybe just to ask you, you said this idea of taking people in modern slavery, and some people also claim it is some brain drain, whereby we train experts in Kenya, then we now export them instead of allowing them or creating jobs for them here to help in developing. But the president told us that countries like Philippines are really getting some foreign exchange from exportation, the labor exportation, like they are the majority who are exporting their labor in Eastern, I think Eastern and Southern Asia. So they really export the labor there, both domestic and exportized labor. So aren't we also moving in that direction so that we can be able to earn revenue by exporting Kenyan labor outside there? Because apart from tea and maybe coffee and the macadamias, we don't have major exports that we take to these other countries. So we import more than we export.
Let me answer you. Number one is that it is very shameful that we will be fighting to compare ourselves with Philippines. Anybody who have ever been into this Southeast Asia will tell you how that country look like. So you cannot tell me that now president want to equate our country to say that you want to bring economy to that like that of Philippines. Those people, they are very poor. Number two, understand that you cannot tell me that we are going to get foreign exchange by exporting our labor. In every dollar that a Kenyan in diaspora send back home, there is $9 there that is left there to build the economy of that country. So why should we be interested in $1 that somebody will send instead of that person making $9 here at home? Understand this thing. This is not how the economy works. The economy works not by you going and start sending a dollar, but by producing here, things that we will export. When he was campaigning, he was talking of value addition chain. Like when we grow our tea, we package it. After finished product, we send it. We just receive dollars. Even in farming, in industrial products. So you cannot tell me kwamba ati mtu aenda afanye kazi kule awache $9 kule alafu akutumie $1 and now you will be rejoicing that you get $1. Let us go for that $9 that slave that you are sending there will be working for that country. The reason why Saudi Arabia they are importing is the economy shaking because they are importing the labor. It is even growing bigger because they are helping produce more. Somebody produce $10 and only you give $1, and then now you are boasting of $1. That is being cheap. We should focus on that production, that $10 that person is making. Let that person make that $10 here at home. Sio ati aende kula aende in every dollar, in every $1 he sent anabakisha 9. In every $100 he sent anabakisha 9,000, and then now you will be rejoicing saying that ametuma $100. Wewe huwezi kuona ile amefanya kule, amefanya $100, amefanya $200, amewacha kwa hiyo nchi. So we should focus on that $100 ambao anaweza kufanya afanyie hapa nyumbani, tupate that $100 hapa nyumbani. So that is a very poor thinking. And kama utasema hivyo, very soon utaanza hata kuuza organs za watu kama you are that interested kwamba you can exploit people to make dollars. So very soon hata utaanza kuuza organs za watu, maanake utasema okay, mtu mmoja akienda China, nikiuza figo, nikiuza moyo, nikiuza nini, labda nitapata $1,000, itasaidia kubuild economy. You see that kind of poor thinking. That is not how to grow economy. If that is how to grow economy, China with a population of 1 billion people, why are they not exporting their labor force? They are working within India. They are still working within. The only people that you can see is Sri Lanka, that you can see everywhere, doing that kind of. But the real Indians, they are growing the economy there. You go to Vietnam, they are doing the same. So you cannot grow economy by exporting and your labor force. That is not how it works. When you see this giant economy growing like Germany, they are exporting, they are importing their labor. You see Spain, they are importing their labor. You see Canada, every year they are importing. America, that is how they grow their own by importing. Even us, we should be growing economy and even be looking professionals to come back, to come to our country and help us even, spread the economy more. Now, unatuma watu nje, unaharibu zile ziko ndani, kampuni zingine ndio hizo unaziuza, unaziprivatize, iende tena huko kwa watu wa nje, vijana tena wetu wasipate kazi, alafu wale ambao wako unasema unasukuma nje. Who will build this country? So, my brothers, this regime is going to take Kenya to hell. This is not Jeka najua vizuri. I was in the forefront. But kupigania regime until I changed the name to Molo Molo. Now I'm thinking of changing now again back to my original name. I changed the name because I was fighting for this regime. I used to fight with the Jets here to campaign. But see the disappointment that we are having. Now he has killed everywhere. Amemaliza kila mahali. Hii mambo ya kusema ati affordable housing. This mambo ya kusema affordable housing. Hii ni stories za Bunwasi. Kama ni nyumbani tunasema ni stories za Jaba. Seriously, because How you tell me unaenda juzi ulikuwa somewhere western, you are demolishing houses. How do you demolish house to build another house? You render somebody homeless to make another person own a home. Does that even make sense for a leader? You know, we have seen houses being demolished, people rendered homeless. There was one old lady, 90-year-old, nyumba yake ilienda kubomolewa saa 8 usiku in the pretense ya kwamba you are building affordable houses. You go demolish houses to build another houses. How is that even making sense? If you really want to help Kenyans, kuna watu ambao ukienda sehemu za Pokot, hao watu ambao wanakaa rasmi hawana manyumba, wanakaa kwa mashelter za manyasi zinataka kuanguka. Why you don't start there? Turkana, go and build shelters there. Go to Northeastern, go and build them shelters. It is even cheaper there. You know, hata nyumba ya wajenge hata kama ni ya mabati 20 kwanza before now coming to the cities. And even when in the cities, instead of going, you know, land that is not occupied or is, you are going to demolish where people are living in the pretext that you want to build. How do you render somebody homeless to make another person own a home? Is that even making sense? So, hizi ni drama. And I wonder even kama kweli court itakuja kupitisha hiyo kitu. And then number 2, hii new colonization. Uwezi kuniambia you are forcing someone to stay somewhere that against his will. Wewe unataka kujenga kwenu nyumbani, wewe ni mwalimu unataka kujenga kwenu nyumbani, unalazimishwa? Hapana, lazima uende uishi ile nyumba ambayo iko Mathare, lazima ulipie hiyo nyumba ukaishi. Who does that? Which country does that? The affordable housing is something that should be voluntary, is something that should not even be run by government. Government should only coordinate the investors to come, you know, give them support, reduce the tax on the building materials, make building affordable for those developers, for those investors. Let them build the houses and market them to whoever who wants to buy at affordable, you know, cost. Why would the government be interested to be in the business? Hii ilikuwa ni kitu ya kutafuta wawekezaji, watolee tax katika simiti, watolee tax katika vyuma, watolee tax katika nini. Okay, wapatie condition tu, ajiri vijana wetu hapo wafanye kazi, wao wajenge, waelewane na wanunuzi, mtu aende, waelewane malipo, basi ni hivyo. Why would the government be interested, so interested? Ama ni Ruto anataka kutumia pesa zake kujenga na kuzia Wakenya? Why would he be interested na kulazimisha Wakenya? It's not even making sense. So mimi nachemka hii 2024, nachemka sana je. Ndio unaona nimekuja hapa nachemka, lakini 2024 lazima tupate ukombozi. Baba akitana saa hizi maandamano, lazima watu waende, na watu wakienda kuna kutoka kwa street, na watu wakienda saa hizi, maana tumeambiwa kwamba koti ni ya wakora, usingojee kushikwa kupelekwa kwa koti ya wakora, nenda na rungu maandamano. Na hata kama watu wanaweza kupata tiaga zao waende nayo pia, wakirusha mnarusha.
All right, Simba Natea, I see you raising your hand. Yes, Simba Natea.
Bwana Jet, najua yes, unaweza ni haya mambo ya nyumba ile swala la nyumba ni swala ambalo mimi hata sijui liko na msingi gani. Kwanza mimi naomba sana kufanywe mjadala wa kutosha, sio nyumba tu sijengwe, kufanywe mjadala wa kutosha. Kwa sababu gani? Waafrika ama Wakenya wako na mila tofauti. Jambo la pili, hii ardhi ambayo inajengwa hizi affordable houses, kuna cemeteries around those houses? Is there land for cemeteries? Kama wanataka kuchange the structure sa Mwafrika ama Mkenya vile anavyoishi, kwa sababu inamaanisha once you've taken the house, that's your home. Iko na zile infrastructures ambazo zinahitajika, ndio hapo mahali pawe mahali ambapo watu wanaishi. Unajua, hatuwezi kuwa na mtu ambaye kuna interest tofauti ambazo ni za kisiasa kusingizia mambo ya ujenzi wa manyumba kwamba hiyo itakuwa ni njia ya kutengeneza ajira. Wakati watu watakapoishi kwa hizo nyumba, hawa watu ambao watakuwa wamehusika katika hiyo ujenzi wataenda wapi? Hili ni swala ambalo ni temporary. So kuwe mkataba ya serikali na investors wajenge hizo nyumba, sifanywe evaluation, watu wenye wanataka kununua wanunue willingly. Mambo ya mishahara ya watu wawachane nazo. Jambo la pili, swala ambalo tumeona likifanyika, swala nilisikia Moses Kuria alikuwa Qatar. Hizi nchi za Kiarabu, Waafrika walifanya kazi Uarabu kitambo, hata kabla hatujapata independence. Vile walifanya kazi kama slaves. Hatuwezi kuwa tunafuata ule mkondo wa modernization of slaves export our people, ambapo watoto wao wenyewe hawafanyi kazi. Kwanza mahala ambapo wanafaa kwanza kufuatilia if they are responsible people ni wale watu ambao wanafanya kazi katika hizo nchi, wanafanya kazi katika mazingira ambayo yanafaa. Jambo la kwanza, wa improve mazingira ya wale watu ambao wanafanya katika kazi hizo, wafuatilie right from the agents. Kuna watu wengi sana ambao wamekuliwa pesa na recruiting agents. Hao ndio watu wenye wanafaa kusaidia, kwa sababu Moses Kuria is one of them. So is in that system again, kwa sababu hapo na opportunity in that very same government. Mambo ya kuambia watu through National Youth Service tutawatafutia kazi wapi? Kwanza mazingira ya wale watu ambao wanafanya kazi katika hizo nchi, wamefanya juu ya mazingira ya wale watu ama wanaleta watu wengine kuwaongeza shida? These are some of the issues ambazo watu wanafaa wasikize na wasitake in critical before making another decision. Yes.
All right. Tunakaribia kutamatisha. Domi, maoni yako ni yapi tunapokaribia tamati ya hii show? Ingawa imechukua mkono ambao sikukusudia, lakini ni sawa. Domi, vipi?
Yes.
Maoni yako ni yapi kulingana na vile hawa jamaa wanadai?
Unajua, it's easy for somebody to just speak than be there. Let me start off by correcting some notion by some people. I saw somebody dismissing. There is this person called Good News dismissing Omolo on this issue of exporting of labor. And I want to make a very firm correction. And he was comparing to Philippines. Now, good news, good to somebody, good whatever. First of all, Philippines, they are well taken care of by their government. Their backs are covered. You find like, I've go to Saudi Arabia. Our girls in Saudi Arabia will tell you that if they are working in the same house with the Philippines, doing the same job, a Philippine will be earning probably twice or thrice a Kenyan is earning. Because their government covers their back. Philippines, when they go out, they go wherever they are going for labor. It's like somehow they are bargained for. Yeah. If there be any crisis, if that girl is in a crisis, His people, her people will take care of whatever. They will intervene. What about us? What about us? Yeah, our people don't care. Including that Ruto you are talking about, does not care. He's not exporting labor because he wants good for him, for the country, but because he wants money. In fact, they are very clear to say they want money. What builds the country is the human resource and the ability to the expertise of these people. They're supposed to be exporting. Now look here. You should not think about as selfish, let me say, for people who are going out anyway, I will say this. I don't dispute anybody going out to look for employment outside. Because people are going out because there is mismanagement, gross mismanagement of the country's resources. Those countries people are going for employment. I'm telling you, if Kenyans were good enough, they will be doing better. As by now, Kenyans will be paid better than going out. For example, somebody was earning 50,000 per month. When the shilling goes down, his 50,000 goes as low as 30,000. The value of 50,000 goes as low as 30,000. Now, when you include taxes, the additional taxes and whatever they have added, probably goes less. That is the reason as why somebody is going to look for employment outside the Kenya. Is it good for the nation? No. It is not good. An engineer who is supposed to be building houses in Kenya, he leaves. You are going to pay another engineer from China 3 times more to build to do the same job. Yeah. You are building. You are going to build China. You are helping. You are creating employment for China by sending your people outside. Yeah. Is that what we need? Yeah. Are you telling me that it's a plus? It is not. The statement that Ruto was saying is, nyinyi tokeni muende na wauza nyinyi muende nje. Nipate pesa ya kukula na kutembea tembea. That is the statement. As simple as that. Somebody could whatever that's the interpretation of what Ruto was trying to say. Sometimes let us read the statements of these people. Let us read that statement properly. Let us read it between the lines. That person good here. It is gross selfishness that is telling Ruto to tell you to go out, and that is a fact. It is true that if I get a better employment outside, I will go. It is true, but is he doing good for Kenyans? No, it is not. A person who will be doing a heart operation. You have talked here about a doctor who was supposed to be doing good heart operation in Kenya. If he leaves and go to do the heart operation, the same heart operation in India, he will earn better. Yes, but is it bringing resources to Kenya? No. That is selfishness of one person. Kibaki said, we want to bring people from outside, those people who went to come and build the nation. We want to take people to come those people who went outside to come and build the nation. The best way is this. The only way Kenya can convince me that it's good to take people outside the country. Let that person go out, get experience, bring the experience into the nation. But what has Kenya been doing? A person who did traffic lights, designed traffic lights of London, is a Kenyan. He brought that idea to Kenya. It was rejected. He went to apply it in UK. Yeah, is that a plus that you're talking about? Your thinking is selfish. The thinking of Ruto is selfish. Now, look at that Philippine you're talking about. Philippines at home. Let me tell you, don't talk about those people who are being exported outside. Look at those people who are left behind. How are they? The building of the nation is not about those people who are being taken out. It is about those people who are inside, who are remaining behind. How are they? I can tell you, Philippines are exporting because things are not good in their country. And at the same time, it is not helping them. Omolo gave a very mathematical explanation. When you are working, for every 10 shillings you are paid, your employer is earning 100 shillings on you. Yeah, on that what you are doing. If in Kenya I can be paid that 100,000, my employer who is the nation should be earning 1 million on me. So I will be building the nation by 1 million, earning 100,000. Yeah. But when you are exporting that person, he's going to build another nation instead of building his nation. You find somebody who is trained as there are some people who are trained, well trained. Somebody trained like okay, you have talked here about nurses. Somebody is trained like a nurse, as a nurse, prefers to go and in Saudi Arabia to be a house girl. Yeah. Now what about his nurse profession? It's gone. It's not useful. And remember, it is the resources of Kenya that trained that nurse. It is the resources of Kenya that trained that nurse. So you trained people to go out, to take it to another country, to build another country. Akili yako ni mbaya. I'm sorry to tell you that hii akili yako sasa itakuwa ni mbaya. Ufundishe mtu hapa aenda ajenge kwingine. My friend, let's think. Let's think. You train a person to go and build another nation. Okay, let me be straight. I was trained by Kenya Railways, but right now I'm building another nation. Is it a plus for Kenya? To Kenya Railways? They have to train another person to replace me. They will use some more resources to train another person to replace me. And we are talking of over almost 1 million to train another person to replace me. And we'll be having some other people being trained so that they go out. My friend, let us think outside the box. The thing is, build the nation. Set the nation on the right trajectory. Attract the investors. Attract investors. Let them build industries in Kenya. Let engineers get job in Kenya. People will not go out. People will not struggle to go and risk their lives outside. But if at all you are not building, your interest, and by the way, let me ask you, this guy is so much struggling about housing. Is it the only thing that he has in mind? Yani, nataka kuwauliza hivi. Uende uchukue loan, umechukua loan unataka kujenga nyumba. Then you find that the land you want to build the house, the land you want to build the house in has a problem, and they put an injunction on that land. Are you not able to think of something else to do? Then akili yako imegwama. It only proves that Ruto has no idea, has no other idea. It is only housing. Yani akili ya Ruto imegwama at housing. And if not housing, there is nothing else. That's poverty. That's mental poverty. You should be thinking, if the housing fails, think of something else. Start another project. Think of another project. Start it up. If this one fails, think of something else. You are in okay. We own families. Uko na familia yako, unataka una mpango yako na ikatae. Unaanzisha biashara na unaona haiendelei. Do you get stuck there? No. You think of something else. You went for employment. Ulienda kutafuta kazi. Then ufike huko hakuna kazi yaribike. What do? You should be thinking of something else. What do I do now that I'm here? It is not going to threaten the judges. You are not supposed to go to threaten the judges. They are doing their work. They are employed to do that. It is you that is wrong. When you are wrong, accept to be corrected. That is the thing. You accept to be corrected. And if anything, if there is a fault in that bill, in that law that you passed, if there is, why don't you take it to parliament so that it be polished? Simple. Yeah, take it to parliament. Uhuru did that. When things go wrong, he used to take the bills to parliament to be corrected. Yeah, he used to take it back. Take it back to be corrected. People will move on. Yeah. You don't force.
All right.
Yeah.
Shikilia hapo tu kidogo. I want to wrap up just but now, but I see the watchman, the what do you call this person? I had his name with me. The watchman media ako ndani, and I want to play something amesema jana. Alikuwa kwa street na aliona mambo. Wacha tusikize what he discovered.
Hello guys, so tulienda huko Kuru kwa Njenga, kuna venye wase wanaishi mazeni mabanda, nyumba mingi zinakuwa mbaya sana. Watazamaji tu ziko nje, stima pia tu ni sasa tuseme Mkuru kwa Njenga, yani Kenya Power yuko ni Mkuru kwa Njenga Power, yani vitu zilikuwa tu mixed up, takataka kama hips bigi. So we went home disappointed because President, His Excellency William Ruto had promised that ataanza kujenga zile nyumba zake. And now it's a year, so tuko na mwaka mmoja umepita. It's better to let tutembelee huko, but nyinyi wenyewe mnaweza jionea. So we went home disappointed. Nyumba hivi yote sisi tu wanauza mchanga. Kama uangalie pesa ngapi, si ndio? Twende offline. There was that promise of actually. Wait, ikitu ile nguruwe mazana nakwambia ni wewe yake hapo. Na niko karibu ndafunga kamera nikiama. Sasa tunaanza tena kitu mingi. I think able to testisha channels. Mr. President, this is street come across my video. Please. It is street content. One that react. Cover na sakaja. wanatembea guys, fanyeni zile kazi zilizonekana, sio tu porojo za media, kwa sababu for sure things were not as so I just went home disappointed. Mnaweza ona tu venye barabara zinakaa, unajua huko kuna vitu kama vile mnaona kina mama wanauza mboga tu karibu na hizo system, kuna watu wadogo, yani biashara zote zinaendelea tu, watu hawajatoka lakini wanaishi kwa mabanda.
To drop wapi? Askari ama direct?
I just went home looking the other direction. I was so much hoping that actually I could find something to be proud of and say that Mr. President, you're doing something different. But manyumba tu zimetolewa. So huko ni Mkuru kwa Njenga. Tumemit na maboys. Kama uja manage ku watch video, I'll advise you to go to our official channels.
7-4.
Official. Hapo ndio tunaongea na magangster, Mkuru kwa Njenga.
Badala sikuwa amefanya kazi ya bure. Sikuwa amefanya kazi ya bure alafu apatie 30% baba.
Chana kazi ya steam na kufinya. Ndio jamaa tulimpata naishi kwa kibanda nyumba yake. Pale nilikuwa napata mtaji. Napata pia vijana pale.
Mtovani. Sisi mwanamuziki. Lakini mimi ni kama kuliko musician wetu wote kwa Njenga.
Na kuna kitu yote kwa
kwanza nilienda Kisumu. Nilikuwa nataka kile penye yenyewe unakaa una mzee. Usumbuliwa na mzee.
Wewe hizi ndio kwa barabara. Lenga ngoma gani?
Hizo scenes zichukue kabisa.
Maalum. Nipeleke New York nikafanya video. Hata nilinganisha kwa Njenga.
Ningeenda tu kwa Makaren huko. Nitoshe tu bei nikae nitulie.
So easy to business endelea na to make shift stores just any time in case the biggest fan destroys them.
Ashakuwa biggest fan. Unaona kwanza wala wasanya kutusi kwa media. Ase na dirisha sana. Ndio sasa maganga. Wana making kila video wana watch na wanatukana. Wana watch na wanatukana. Hao sasa wameshinda. Lakini ati ama Fandrila anaonaga notification analea. Lakini wanakupiga hiyo mbwe nasema nini tena?
Kama unataka kutembea kwa hizo streets tunakwenda
Kakamega
kwa Njenga.
Kwanza Kisii.
Trust me. You will not be touched. Just come.
Alafu ni fani. Wasana shianga usiwa kwa comment section.
Pipeline exit. Sasa sisi tunarudi
bubu. Jamaa anaweza jikunia
ameacha tu hizo images za maroon sema zile nyumba zao.
Kuna mtu alimwambia sema hivyo venye ungekuwa unasema. Sasa hili niko hapa. Buda bonga. Bro, unajua tu pia na kwanga tu yani kazi sana. Ile kwanga tu yani si kufanya kazi. Chukua serious.
Pia ile kwa kazi.
Mwambie bado unanitukanaga una mention budangu
hapo kwa nini? Sema hizi hawawezi wapata potea. Hapa tunasimamisha hapa. Wanaamsha gari kwanza kidogo.
Farasi ni gani?
Naona wale watu wamesimama pale ni watu wapata potea. Baada tu ya kuniona hivyo wakarealize wakataka kutoroka. Mnatizama ndio wale pale. Naona ni watu ngapi wakaanza kuangalia ile macho hapo kishuka.
Kufanya unashuka hapo. Nani mkubwa hapo? Nani mkubwa hapo? Amewa kuja. Nani mkubwa hapo? Kuja. Hii tawo jamaa kuja hapo. Sasa nitoke kwa gari. Mwambie kuja hapa.
So ukiangalia hapo wametoroka, wameachana na yale mabox. Ile ni ile kitu ya farasi ati pata potea.
Alright, tuliambiwa siku hizi Mkuru kwa Njenga ni kama London ama majuu. Wow, interesting. Ashley, you requested for that. What do you make of it?
I kindly request you to bring the beginning where it actually shows the houses, and I'll just give our 30-second statement after that. At the very beginning, it shows the houses.
Yeah, I'll play it as I allow you to continue to talk. I'll play it in a silent mode as you speak about them.
Okay. So I don't have much to say. I think the clip speaks for itself. What Ruto did is, when you have a contract with the people, he keeps saying that he was chosen and he was given the mandate by the people. I wish Stella was here today, and I think we need to follow up with her that if we have a contract where the facts, the material facts were misrepresented, can we use the material facts law to go to court and ask the court to void the contract for breach? Because the material facts law states that the facts that are essential to helping a reasonable person decide whether or not to get involved in a particular transaction or issue. So if we had known these facts, would we have gone ahead and chosen Ruto? Would we have elected him? We wouldn't have. If we had known that he would come and say that he will disobey the constitution, the law of the court, would we have chosen him? We wouldn't have. So I do want to engage some legal minds to tell us if we have a case that we can take to court, that we were deceived, the material facts were misrepresented, misconstrued, and hidden from us. And as such, if it was a contract, it would have been a breach and thus voided when you misrepresent the material facts. So I would like to wait until we have our legal mind to tell us if that is something that we can take to court against the Ruto government for misrepresentation of facts. That's all I have to say. But I haven't still seen the houses and the tents. They are not in the car, they are walking. Bring where.
All right.
Jack, allow me to respond.
Please do.
Before I respond to Ashley, there was one comment in the comment section that I wanted to respond. There was someone, I think by the name Goodyear. He gave an example, saying that even Jomo Kenyatta and Uhuru Kenyatta were in abroad. So I want to believe that he was giving an example that people should work in abroad. And I want to juggle his memory that Uhuru Kenyatta has never been employed anywhere outside Kenya. He was in America and he was purely for study. Jomo Kenyatta as well, he was never employed in the UK. He went there for studies. And after the studies, they came back. The late Tom Mboya, he also went to study, and after study, they came back. So forget about giving those examples. Then to Ashley, what you are saying is very, very genuine, because this amount of conmanship in manifesto, is something that need to be checked on. But the problem, even if you go to the court, the contract is for 5 years, right? So they will still have a leeway, because they will give the excuse, all manner of it. That is why it's giving these excuses, Now, when you go to the court, in fact, you will use that advantage and now pressure the court and, put the blame on the court. Say that, we wanted to implement this, but because of the court order, and we still have the contract for 5 years. So that one is not holding the water. People could have, go to the court, but the period of contract is 5 years, and they will give excuse that they still have time, and they will even lay blame now on the courts that, we are supposed to implement this, but there was a court order, we are supposed to do this. So what we need is when you have an honest leader. Honest leader does not need to be challenged legally or be pushed by the courts or by anyone. An honest leader will just do as he promised. Anybody that is honest. If somebody comes today, the other day I was in one platform and somebody wrote a very good, story about one teacher who he boarded a matatu from work going to home. And while he was on the bus, a thief, a pickpocketer, enter into his pocket and empty his wallet and the content that was inside. When he reached his destination, the conductor is asking for the fare. When the teacher dipped his hands into the pocket, he find out his wallet was missing. And he tried to plead with the conductor that he had money, and you know how the conductors behave. He started embarrassing the teacher. He started throwing insult at the teacher, that you look a respectable person, but you even to pay fare is now, as he was insulting, then a good Samaritan from somewhere, a volunteer to help the teacher and pay the fare for the teacher. And the teacher was very appreciative. He took blessings to the man. He thanked and he wished him well, and even wished that there were many of his kind, And even the passengers at the bus, they clap for the man, the good Samaritan, and they wish that there would be many of the kind. Only to turn on that the person that volunteered to pay for the teacher is the same thief that had stolen from the teacher, but because nobody noticed it, so then he volunteered now to pay the teacher and earn the respect. So we are having a country of similar scenario where a thief will steal from your pocket and come from behind and volunteer that is helping you, and you'll be praising him, showering praises, and even praying for him, and other people around you, they'll be doing the same, not knowing that it is the same thief that stole from you. So what we need is integrity, honesty in leadership. But sometimes Kenya, we have short memory because we cannot interrogate these characters when they are starting from the beginning and see their track records. If Kenyans were keen on watching the track records, William Ruto could have not been close to leadership, even an MCA. He was not qualified because he's always dishonest from the beginning. When he was working with Moi, he ended up blaming Moi and they ended up into bad books with Moi. Alikuja kwa Kibaki akapatiwa wizara ya kilimo, tukapata scandal ya mahindi, akasimamishwa kazi. Akakuja ODM, ilikuwa ni ODM, akaanza kulaumu kwamba ni ODM ndio wanamfukuza. Akakuja Jubilee, ofisi yake ikabadilika ikakuwa ofisi ya wash. For the very first time tukiona ofisi kubwa kama deputy president ikitumika kama wash. We know even the chief office people respect. Hata watu wakienda kwa chief wanatoa kofia, maana kuna bendera pale. Lakini for the first time tunasikia wash hiyo ndio headquarter. Kutoka hapo akasema Uhuru Kenyatta ndiye anamfungia kuwa president. Okay, amekuwa president sasa hivi and he still blaming others. Kwa kazi yake. How do you blame a judge? When you cannot deliver your you go first walianza kublame Uhuru Kenyatta. Now it is 1 year, they cannot blame Uhuru Kenyatta again. Now they looking for someone to take a blame. Now they go to and attacking judges. To tell you, a dishonest person is a dishonest person, no matter what you do. They will always have, an excuse. And that is why Kenyans should be very careful when choosing leaders. That is the meaning of integrity. When people talk of integrity, people don't understand. A dishonest person is a dishonest person. Now always atakuwa na shida. So even if you say you are taking Ruto, for that manifesto, and you still have a reason. You have the contract is 5 years contract, and he wanted to implement, and there was a court order, and there was that, and there was mandamano, and there was that, because of dishonesty. Always someone that cannot deliver always have plenty of excuses. So you cannot take Ruto to court. The only way is public court. It is the people who have the mandate to take that mandate back. That is the only way. It is only to take the mandate that we give him back. but relying on court cannot. Number one, it does not even respect the courts. It does not even respect the courts in the first place. Do you think now anybody can summon Ruto and go to court? He cannot appear. So the only thing is to take that mandate from him. How do we take that mandate from him? We can decide to recall all the leaders that we elected, from MCA to members of parliament to senators. We recall all of them. We recall all of them. It's to sign signatures from MCA. Because even I cannot blame Ruto alone. Even the parliament itself. Now we are doing the work that parliament is supposed to be doing, the oversight. Like, what are they doing? They are discussing an issue in parliament, very pet issues. When they are given a chance to discuss things that matters, they go and do something different. Then all of the parliament that we have, it's like they don't have idea why they are, or they don't know even the work that were given. So kutoa tunaweza amua kurecall all of them, watu waende waweke signature ya mbunge, waweke ya MCA, waweke ya senator, wote kwanza tuwafukuze nyumbani, then bunge ikivunjika automatically Ruto anakuja chini, tunaingia kwa fresh election. Manake tuko na military pia ambao watuelewi. Tunaona military wengine wanachunga nchi yao. Tulikuwa tunaomba Mungu kwamba at least mmoja anaweza kufunguka kichwa na wananchi waunge mkono, because military, their work is to protect the country from external invasions. But also this one is like external invasion, because when anything that will threaten the livelihood of a Kenyan is an enemy. So at this point of time, military should know that we have enemy within, and they should do something. I'm hoping so. Let us pray for our military. Ogola, maybe Angel Gabriel can visit him and open his eyes. Angel Gabriel visit the Mali one, and now Mali is doing good. Burkina Faso. Sababu military players, they should be cautious of their commander. Kama commander wao amekuwa ni mtu ambao waeleweki, they should do something. Si wangojee mpaka nchi ingie kwa moto ndio amke.
Hello.
Yes, Jack. Sijui kama nimeanza Ashley.
Yes. Sorry. Pole, I was on another call. I think Molizaje. Pole. I'm so sorry.
No, nilikuwa nataka Ashley kama amejibiwa, ameridhika na hiyo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Naona Lomi pia anainua mkono.
That was good, but
I
want to ask you this. There is where he's walking. He's not inside the car. And if I have a chance to speak, I would like for you to put as much as you can when he's talking to the residents, showing where tents they live in, and how when it rains, the tents leak in water. It's not somewhere where he's inside the car. He's walking.
Then you need to send me the other link, because this has played in full. I haven't interrupted from the beginning to the very end.
Okay.
Probably there are two of these. Maybe we need, because that's the end, and I played from the very beginning here. Unless is that from where it begins?
I didn't check, but it might be.
Because
let me.
This is how it
no, that's not it. That's when he was leaving. Let me get the other one and send it to you. Okay. It's long, so you have to decide how much to show. But in that one, you have to let him speak, because he's interviewing people. Okay, bye.
Right. Okay. Yes, Domi.
Okay. I just want to say something about. Ashley is gone.
Yeah, no, she's coming. She's getting the video for me. But go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to tell Omolo has explained a lot about the way probably we can think of doing. Okay, to me, there is, I think, according to the law, when deception is part of what a person brought in a contract, it's legally it is supposed to be challenged and it's supposed to be go through. But unfortunately, according to the law of Kenya, the president cannot be sued when he's still in office.
Correct.
So even if we have 100% proof, but now we cannot. That's not. That's an avenue that cannot go through. Secondly, if the court has been untwisted to allow a wrong thing to proceed, what about removing it? What I will say is that let's even not consider. Let's not even think about the court. Let's not even think about the court. In fact, what we should do now is this. People should think of, as we oppose the president, the judiciary should also be questioned. I believe there should be a day when people should just go to the High Court, or rather to the Supreme Court. For example, during the judgment of like in court of appeal, during that judgment, people should just come to the court and say no. Should just demonstrate from there and say no. Yeah. There's one thing that is very clear that has been very successful with the politicians. The politicians, or rather these big people, they fear being put to the defense. If people can storm the court and say no, refuse, the judge makes the determination and people say no. Like everybody is going to the street and they are saying no. He makes the judgment and everybody from the offices. People come out from the offices and say no. They had everybody, like the whole Nairobi is headed to the court of appeal. That is the only way people can listen. Like when they make that judgment, the people say no. You know, unfortunately, there is no clear. There's no clear. There's no clear path. You know, as the Constitution says that the ultimate authority is with the people, and they can exercise their rights through the legislators or do it directly. Yes, it's there, but how to do it is not given. I've tried to check in the Constitution. There is nowhere that they have given any roadmap on how do you start. If it's giving signing like whatever, how many millions of signatures after that, then what next? Get these millions of signatures, then what next? They have not given the roadmap. That is one thing that was supposed to be in the Constitution. If the president is doing this and you have rejected the president, 1 million signatures or 2 million or whatever millions of signatures, even if they say 10 million signatures or 5 million signatures, after getting the 5 million signatures, what next? That would have been the next thing. The problem with the Constitution of Kenya has so many open-ended laws. It is so open-ended that anybody can fill up with anything.
No, I want to see Damia. You know, the constitution is very clear,
Hello?
and our constitution
Are you
is
getting
a
me?
very good constitution.
Yeah, we are getting you.
Okay. You know,
Our constitution is a
the court of Kenya is like they need an end-to-end clear statement. Because if they get anything vague, they can rule whichever side, whichever way. They need an end-to-end statement. If this happens, this should be the next. That is what the court needs. But if at all he has some gray areas, that is why they are taking advantage of that. Honestly, let's be realistic. They are deducting the money from people's salaries, the one that we are challenging, in the court. Then you tell us that let the government continue deducting. In case it goes the other way, is the government going to return the money? Is the government going to return the money? In other words, what the court is saying is there is a greater possibility that they are going to allow the government to continue deducting the money.
No, allow me to interject. You know, to me, the court is very right, and we don't have problem. So far, Kenyans, we don't have problem with our judiciary. So we cannot say that we want to be a country where we don't respect judiciary like our president is doing. You see, the reason why the Court of Appeal put the stay order is because that thing already passed in Parliament and it has become a tax. And one thing that the Court of Law cannot do is first to stop a tax without delivering judgment, because it can bring a very big, impact. So what they do is they pass to that stay order. No problem. Let them continue collecting, but we will hear in the ruling. So the court pronounced itself very simple, very clear. It is not a problem, because I'm sure even the prayer that was there, it is not even, to stop the government without everybody will be heard, and the court will make its last pronunciation. So this one is not a problem. To me, it's not a problem. Yeah, we will wait for the ruling. But anything that already become tax, you cannot stop it. Let us tell ourselves the truth. You cannot stop the government from collecting tax. You can only stop when you already find the evidence that that collection of tax was illegal and unconstitutional and is proven beyond reasonable doubt. That is when you can stop it. But at this stage, Court of Appeal need to dig more deeper. And when now it has proved beyond any reasonable doubt that it is illegal taxation, then now they can go ahead and stop it. But at this stage, they cannot stop it, because what about if you stop it and then the petitioners cannot prove themselves? What about if the government now demand? The court cannot. Who will take that responsibility? If the petitioner now is told, okay, to reimburse the tax that the government did not collect, that will be another disaster. So the reason why the court is doing that is also to protect them.
All right, guys, we need to wrap up, and I don't know. Let me do this. Let me play this one clip from Ashley.
Can I understand something before you go? Okay. Let me understand something about what Omolo is saying. Is he talking about the tax or the housing levy? Because according to me, the issue is the housing levy.
Omolo. All right, seems to have dropped out as well. But I don't know if you had finished what you were saying. I think this is Ellie. Ellie, good to see you. I hope
Jake,
you're
I'm back.
well. How is day 3? Is it 3 or 4 or 5 of your quarantine?
Good morning. It's been since Sunday, so I think today I should be okay. We'll see.
All right.
I've just done the test now. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of showing me a negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep waiting a few more minutes. You know, it's the faint line when it shows two lines and a
Mm-hmm.
faint one. It's still positive. So I'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give it
Yeah,
another
yeah.
10 minutes. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel well.
All
I
right.
feel good.
Okay. Umekuja tukikaribia kufunga, but I'll give you a moment to tell us what do you make of our topic. We are discussing, are we in the dark days that we were in long time ago? Are we back to the days where we disregard court orders, disregard the rule of law, and operate as though we even don't have a constitution for that case?
Now, I just wanted to reflect again upon the comments people are making. I
Mm-hmm.
literally enjoyed some of the conversations, you know, because people were speaking, you know, with good context, you know, about what is really happening, especially the person who is
Mm-hmm.
pretending to preside over that nation. So if you look at that man, William Ruto, honestly, why I'm still laughing all these days and months is because people still haven't accepted that this man has a severe mental health condition. You know, is a liar without shame, and his lies they're chronic. You know, so he's actually got a pathological condition. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at the tyranny of lies, you know, and when I say tyranny, it's because he uses them with emphasis and he has no fear
Mm-hmm.
about the consequences of his lies because he
Mm-hmm.
just speaks about what he wants to say without fearing the consequences. I mean, if you look
Mm-hmm.
at for example, the bombers event a couple of years ago when Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila were proposing BBI and Ruto was sitting there, his self-esteem you could see was very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
And people who are chronic or pathological liars, they do
Mm-hmm.
have this problem about self-esteem, and the only way they can compensate is to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pump our ears with lots of lies until we
Mm-hmm.
accept. In fact, we think it's the truth. So when I watched that clip that you just played
Mm-hmm.
about, I think it was Mukuru Kwanjenga, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the clip that you played where
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Ruto was trying to compare that area with Europe. I mean, there's slums in Europe. Don't forget, you know, there is places in Europe where the struggle is just as bad, but not as bad as, say, for example, the clip that you just showed, right? So when you look at that clip that you just showed and the message that came from Mr. Ruto when he was talking to the media 2 weeks ago, then you know that he has a very severe mental health problem. And this is with respect to people who are living with mental health problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not shaming them, but I'm just saying that maybe to reach a point where Kenyans will have to diagnose this person's welfare and see that, because I think years back, I don't know about now, but the constitution before the 2010 constitution addressed
Mm-hmm.
the issue of the capacity of the person who is holding the presidency, including their mental health capacity, right? I don't know whether the 2010 Constitution addresses this particular item, but I'm sure there must be a mention about the health and fitness of a person holding that office. Because to me, this is one of the problems that we have with this person who is holding that office. And the problem is a lot of people who are around him, they're afraid to say so, and some of them might even have the same problem. But his is just in a different category. Someone mentioned there earlier about giving comparisons about people who have worked abroad and have come back to lead Kenya. Mentioned Jomo Kenyatta, said Jomo Kenyatta wasn't working in the UK. Uhuru was not working in America, and I think similar was examples given of Mwai Kibaki. The only one I know that did not really work as such in abroad was Mwai Kibaki. It was straight up, did his full-time studies at London School of Economics. But Jomo Kenyatta, he actually worked. He didn't go to work. He went for other reasons, but he did not go to work, but he worked. Uhuru Kenyatta is the same thing. He worked. So this, we need to research what we say before we say it, because people are going to take the information as 100% true. What I know is that the kinds of jobs the likes of Jomo Kenyatta did in the UK, for example, he was an extra in various films, sit and stay, and also he faced that discrimination, which similarly Uhuru must have faced, in terms of jobs, because of the color of his skin. But those are not the things that are an item for this particular conversation. What I want to just repeat is that people should now start digesting the fact that Mr. Ruto is a pathological liar, which means he needs to be really, really, people need to have some kind of empathy about the condition of the mental health condition of this man. And then they look for a constitutional way of removing him, given that fact, because it's a fact. If you look at the things he has said before about the number of stadiums that he would have built within weeks of the Jubilee government, and then if you look at this recent clip about Kuru Kwenjenga, which is actually an insult, but it's also the fact about it's a test example about his mental health and capacity to do things. So that's all I wanted to say about this gentleman that we're addressing. Thank you.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we choose to wrap up this show. This show has been made possible for you guys watching. I see many wananiambia wako kwa job, wengine ndo wanaenda job, wengine ndo wanataka kujiwekelea kidogo, but zaidi ya yote mume make time ili kuwatch. I'm just but a grateful moderator this morning here in Kenya. It's around 11, few minutes to noon. I'm glad you chose to have this show. This show is actually now back. We will make sure that the arrangements are good, that it will be coming every single day apart from Sunday. Sunday we will try have another kind of a show. But thank you very much. See you in the evening. Now in the evening we have another debate and have another awesome conversation. So make sure you tune in to this evening show. Domi, I wish to see you together with Ellie and many other guys. Let's have a nice conversation this evening, Kenyan time, 10 p.m. We will be discussing very hot issues here in Kenya. I wish you good health, Bwana Odhiambo. I know utakuwa mzima kabisa. Yeah, this far you are doing well and you will definitely utatoka nje manze, utatoka nje ili ufanye bidii ututumie za Christmas. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Maybe I give you a minute, everybody, to wish our viewers a happy new year. It's already 5 days, so bado tu ni time ya wish new year even as I wrap up. So I begin with you, Domi.
Happy New Year, Kenyans. May God make way for Kenya. Mungu atuhurumie sana.
Amin. Ellie.
For me, there's nothing really to celebrate because the New Year is lots of bombs being dropped over in Gaza, and there's lots of people running from these conflicts around the world. There's about 35 live conflicts at the moment as we speak around the world, and we can see. I'm sorry, I know that you want to close in a positive mode, but just above Kenya in Sudan, there's a guy here in Kenya who is also making friends with a Janjaweed guy who's his gold partner, you know. So Ruto and that Janjaweed guy, you know, basically he's expanding the conflict in Sudan. There's nothing to celebrate. Kenya, we're in shock, and we just continue to hope for the best. That's all I can say. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love that. In our evening conversation, we must ask ourselves, why are we losing our friends, our neighbors, honestly? It was the other day tulibishana na Uganda, kiasi Tanzania. Ndio hiyo tulibishana na Rwanda, kidogo South Sudan, juzi hata dhani wiki 3 zimeisha.
It's like that friend who annoys everyone.
I think we seriously need to look at all this. So Journey, that will also inform part of our discussion. So let's meet here at 10 p.m. Thank you very much. Wonderful guys. You guys are just but amazing. Asante sana. Goodbye, good morning, good afternoon. Enjoy your sleep, enjoy your workplace, enjoy your dinner, your lunch, your breakfast, everything you do. Have a fantastic day. God bless you. See you when you see us at around 10 p.m. Kenyan time today. This has been your morning show, and I'm your host, Jakes, the moderator. Goodbye, good day, take care. God bless you.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi
majibu